pretty legit. They're being literally besieged every single day now.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And the Sitra Achra is fighting as hard as possible to keep that out of the public consciousness. Yeah. Like, you know, just all we need is a little bit of video, you know, just to kind of see this stuff going on. Yeah. Because it's literally, you know, like, think about Independence Day, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're having these big giant ships showing up and just hovering over cities, okay? Yeah. All right, so that's not really happening. But what you are having fleets of these things hovering over military installations daily.
Yeah. Hello?
You know, so, yeah. Can you hear?
Yeah, I hear.
I mean, so what, you know, what am I, like, am I really reaching too much to assume that is actually Mashiach?
No, you're not.
So, you know, like, maybe that's it. Maybe that, you know, like, you know, Bart Tzadok says in his book, I don't know how, you know, he's not my go-to Mashiach expert, but he says in the book that Mashiach, like, he goes, do you think that you're going to have access to Mashiach? Meaning, like, you think that anybody in the world is going to just go and can, like, just see Mashiach anytime they want? He goes, even, like, you know, even, like, you know, prime ministers or, you know, even mayors and, you know, small-time guys, right? You have to make an appointment to see them. You try to, like, march up to their office. Yeah. You're not going to be seen. How much more, you know, Mashiach is not, you know. So what if he's really here and we're seeing his forces?
Yeah. Yep.
And this stuff, like, you know, I've been sending you some, like, reports here and there, right? Like, I don't know. The last one I sent you, that was more of, like, possibly, you know, the Shadim stuff. Yeah. You know what I mean? But I've seen reports every day since Pesach was over, and, you know, it seems to be ramping up.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm looking at, because I understand what this sounds like to most people. I understand what most people are looking for, and I'm looking for the same thing. I'm looking for for Gandalf, you know, the kindly old man with the staff. You know, I'm looking for the Moses-looking guy, like everybody else. But I'm trying to see what God is actually showing us, rather than what I'm want.
What
you're
hoping, what you're imagining in your head. Yeah.
Everybody imagines a kindly old man, you know, with white robes and the staff, right? Yeah. But you know, if I don't know, I'm looking. I'm not controlling any of this, right? I'm just like an observer. Yeah. So I'm observing. I'm seeing this is what I am being shown. Yeah. So this might be. I would say it's more than likely. This is what God is showing us of Mashiach.
Yeah. Unless it's just nothing. Not nothing, but unless it's just like something completely different. That has nothing to do with anything.
Like what?
I don't know. I really don't know. Like, Mamas don't know.
How can that? Right. What I'm saying is, like, how can that actually be?
Or Hashem is just showing us, hey, I created something. You know, he's just trying to show us that the universe is so big that I created other beings somewhere in a different dimension, and that's what he's trying to show us.
But we're told that, like that's not a revolutionary piece of information.
Sure. True.
You know? And,
dude, can you give me 30 seconds? I need to use the man's room.
I know, dude. Can you, like, I'm not gonna keep you on the phone. If you wanna chill, we can get to. I'd like to hear your explanation as to what that means and how could that possibly be.
No, when I say it's nothing, I don't mean it's like nothing. I just mean that it could be something that Hashem is showing us that he's just trying to show us omnipotence. Like physical and, well, metaphysical omnipotence. You know?
Yeah, but it's acting out Zechariah 14 verse 5.
Okay. You're talking about just that part of, with the about the stopping the nuclear
Yeah, and then the harassing of the naval and Air Force pilots.
No, so here's my question. You know about that, but here's the thing. Like, for example, when Tucker Carlson went and did that report, when was it? A week ago. Yeah. He didn't mention He didn't mention that part. He just said that there was like these tic tacs, knickknacks, whatever. And
that's what they. Well, that. Whenever you're talking about the tic tac, you're talking about.
No, I'm saying I know that's what they are. I'm saying he didn't mention the part about them disarming anything. He didn't mention that whole story.
He did. I don't know if he didn't. If he did or didn't last time, but he does so far. Like he's said it every single time. In the last 5 years.
He did mention that they disarmed this and that and the other. Tucker Carlson.
Yeah, many times. He even interviewed the guy, the launch officers.
Okay, so then
no, that's the most prevalent part of this whole phenomenon.
So then that's pretty big.
Yeah, man.
If that's what you're telling me, then we are talking about Zachary 14.
Zachary 14.
Dude, I told you that my friend played me that clip of Mizrahi. He's like, whatever the leftists like, it's against God. They like this, it's against God. They like that, they like name all these things. He's like, they like this, it's against God. It's against God. He just goes on and on.
Yeah.
It's really funny. Very funny. It's funny, but it's sad, you know. Anyway.
Listen, he's mostly right, but then when he's wrong, he's wrong big time. Yeah. So I said it nicer than the way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, 1 second. Said it nicer?
No. I said when I said that when he's right, he's right most of the time. But when he's wrong big time.
Yeah.
So I just said it nicer than I said it to you earlier today.
Gotcha.
Try to be nicer.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man.
So this is the.
So now we're talking about the tree of life.
Yeah, man.
Please.
I think we started talking about it. You know.
We did, yeah. But I'm saying we're going to get into it because people seem to be taking they've taken to the previous part of this episode, the Elon Musk one. They like it.
Yeah. Yeah, Elon Musk has fans, huh?
Yeah, listen. Mark Levin. I got into the car today on the way back from the Shiva, and my parents have the Sirius radio, so they have the audio of the Fox News channel, just the audio part, as if it's like radio. And then Mark Levin was doing his monologue or whatever. So he's talking about all these all these people are doing on these oligarchs on social media, like he's talking about the American ones, brainwashing everybody and this and that, and then he's like, now you have this guy Musk, who's doing the right thing and blah 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 blah. So it's like the the regular run of the mill like conventional thinking, There's not a lot of understanding of that it might be something else that Musk is up to, but I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah. I don't know, something.
So you're saying
I want to be wrong.
So you're saying something doesn't feel right. Listen, so what do you think about that question that I asked you? Even if he is who he is and he is who you say he is, but at the end of the day, the byproduct of this might just be the great uncovering. Because again, dude, look all of a sudden your
I think you have a point.
Dude, your brother just got like 100 and I don't know. Let me check. I'll tell you exactly how many. Dude, your brother, in this time frame that he's been, ostracized and kicked out and this and that and the other, he's done like a tour de force, both digitally and physically, to the point where I think 60% of America, dude, he has 130,000 followers almost in like I don't know how many hours. It's insane.
In like less than 24, maybe.
Yeah. Dude, I don't know. Is that a record? I don't know. Like, he's not.
I don't know. I'm not impressed. It's
He-
slowing down a little bit. It's making me upset.
He's not a Gen Z celebrity. He's not like Kim Kardashian, who can go on some social media network and get like 1 million followers in a second.
Kim Kardashian's left butt cheek has 5 million followers.
Yeah, dude, this is very impressive for a person who's been like crushed essentially like a bug by the powers that be. You know.
I don't think he was crushed. I don't appreciate that.
I'm saying they tried to. I mean, figuratively, they tried to. But you know, the more you try to obfuscate light, the more light shines through. We know that. You know, from
the more you know.
Dude, I don't know. It's really, and you know, all these people are talking about. You know, their what is it? Their follower counts went up. All these people that were, you know, banned and shadow banned and schmano banned. It's crazy, man.
The twit. Yeah. He's the twit messiah. Elon Musk.
Yeah.
The messiah of twits. Of twits and ninnies.
See, look at this. All this stuff is coming out. Crazy. I don't know, man. But I feel like even when it's going to come out, and
good news though. Truth Mobile back on top today.
That's wonderful, but
not mobile, social.
Social, but the question is, when the hell is it going to be available for Android? Hold on.
I saw something the other day.
Oh, really?
Very soon. It's going to be available very soon for Android and the web page. You know, like a regular.
Yeah.
You can just access it.
Well, let's see. Truth Social. No, it's not. It's not available yet. Hold on. What's this? Oh, somebody tried to.
Something. Laura Loomer posted how much you want us to how quickly. Let me see if I can find it.
Yeah.
That was interesting what she said.
Yeah, it's not open.
Come on, man. Where is it?
I think once they release stuff for.
How much you want to bet? Oh, here's it. How much do you want to bet? Apple is going to ban Twitter from the App Store until Section 230 is repealed. Free speech and free and fair elections are dead.
Who said this?
Laura Loomer,
running
for Congress.
Yeah. She's the chick that looked like her, you know, she was in her 20s, and then she she did something to her face, and now she looks kind of older. She doesn't look old. She looks older than her age. She got a nose job. It's kind of weird. It's like Jackie Mason, you know, all these yentas are chopping their noses and.
Yeah, I wish she didn't do that.
Do I look?
She was pretty. She was pretty before. She's pretty now, but it wasn't necessary.
Yeah. Do I look Hawaiian? I look Hawaiian, don't I? I look Hawaiian.
You look Hawaiian.
You yenta. Just hilarious. Yeah, she looks like she. I don't know. Just kind of. Hey, who the hell knows anymore? This is the problem. You can't even It's bad to critique, not even criticize. It's bad to critique, for a man to critique a woman. It's bad to do that. You know?
It really is, though.
It's not good.
It is. I mean, I want to... The part of me that wants to hurt leftists, both, you know, emotionally and spiritually and psychologically and... Well, also physically. I just don't want to go to jail, you know?
Yeah.
But you know, that part of me wants to, you know, just because it bothers them. But from the Torah perspective, it's a horrible thing to do. You know? Mm-hmm. It really is. It's like we were talking about this earlier. You know, this is something that we have to be careful about.
Yeah.
Because you can destroy a person. Yeah. It's easy. God made it so easy to do that. Yeah. I was saying to you before, you know, like don't do it because she's God's daughter, right? But then I'm thinking to myself, well, why'd you do that to her, God? Right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Why make people look like?
We don't have to spell it out. You know, it's clear what we're talking about. You know?
Yeah.
So it's a good question, you know. Again, you know, another one of those things that just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
You know, the answer is going to be, you know, I could hear the answer. The answer is that's not your concern. Your concern is to be nice and to help. You know, anybody who's in pain, you know, help them. You know, try to make their experience easier, even though God is causing their pain.
Yeah. Dude, it's a simple question. If Adam and Hava were the most beautiful beings that ever existed, whether you're talking about physically or spiritually, and we're the offshoot of these people, these guys, speaking of the tree of life, then why the hell are some of us, you know? I'm sure
there's like Sephardic rabbis and, you know, that can't wait to tell you.
What are they going to tell me?
It's just because it's a punishment for the thing that is it. You made the spiritual ugliness. Now you play it by being ugly physically. Zachary 14.
Okay, that's all well and good, but why does it have to? Why is it so prevalent in the frum community more than in the secular? Is it because of science? Is it because cousins are going with cousins? Is it because?
No.
What's the reason?
No. You're talking about the messengers. That's not the reason.
Okay.
You know the difference between messengers, right?
Yeah, I get it.
If it wasn't cousins, it would be
I know.
A bug. If it wasn't a bug, it would be a cloud. If it wasn't a cloud, it would be
I get it.
Some kind of mutation or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, like
I'm just saying, like
so
it just
the
seems
reason
like
behind it is not. No, that's not the.
Yeah, but it just seems like it's more prevalent in.
If it's not going to be dude, I just said if it's not going to be the cousin,
I get it.
Right.
What I'm talking.
Then it's going to be a frog.
Yeah,
you know.
I know that, but it's still prevalent in a particular community anyway. I know. I'm not giving you the reason. I'm just saying it's.
Right.
I see it more in a particular community. Oh my god, dude, Laura Loomer used to look like Barbara Streisand. Which I guess it's actually a better look for her.
She was fine. Like we're getting into the danger zone again.
Yes.
You, bro. For you.
No. I'm just looking ostensibly, not like criticizing or anything. I'm just saying.
Danger zone.
Highway to the. I don't know. She should have kept a nose. I like that whole kind of Jewy.
Yeah. No, she's a pretty girl. You know, she's a good. But listen. So, what I'm saying is like they're gonna say that it's about suffering, or they could say it's about preserving the community, right? Like basically, you know, I was always wondering, like the beard. Let's stop focusing on women for a second. Let's focus on the guys for a moment, okay?
Yes.
The beard. Okay. Look at how they look at how, like, you know, Hasidim look.
Yeah.
Okay. Everything is relative. Okay, you know, regardless of the culture you're from, you know, there's different acceptable norms, but Hasidic Jews look like aliens in you know, in any other environment.
Yes,
they might have fit in to most environments, like I would say, you know, maybe from like 1900 and back, right? That wouldn't be an outlandish look. That's how people look. They wore hats, they had beards. It wasn't that crazy.
Yeah.
Okay? But now it's like you know, it's like you're, you know, like these. Is this like a Renaissance gathering? You know, like is this a Renaissance fair?
Yes.
You know, but like more recent.
Yeah.
It looks crazy. Okay. So it just looks crazy. Yeah. It's not crazy, I understand, but it looks crazy. I'm just saying the perception and the contrast, right? So is it possible that they're making their people look absolutely absurd in any other context except within the ghetto?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yep. So it could be just like, let's make them too ugly to date.
Yeah. Yeah, why is that?
Exactly.
Why would that be?
They don't assimilate.
Interesting.
So they don't assimilate.
Interesting.
I'm the only one that's ever said that out loud. I'm sure I'm not the only one who's ever thought it.
Yeah, true.
No one wants to say it.
Well, that's what we do on this.
They're waiting for Yiftach off over here, me, Yiftach.
That's what
the grub one anyway. Let him say it, and then at least someone says it, get the things going, and then, but let it be the lowlife who says it. We're too refined to say anything true.
Listen, that's what our show is about. We just, in the words of Joker, we just say things. Why
do we have to quote the Joker?
I just do things.
I want to read that. That quote, that wisdom from Patrice that you.
I'm like a dog chasing cars. I wouldn't know what to do with one if I caught one.
You just made the Joker sound like Woody Allen.
I'm like a dog chasing cars. I wouldn't know what to do with one if I caught one.
All right. Here's Patrice O'Neill's occasional wisdom. Okay.
Yes.
It says, liars don't like me. People who lie, people who live a lie. There's people who love living lies. Yeah. I was thinking the other day, this term, brutal honesty. This is a dumb term. The word brutal should be associated with lying. Yeah. Like, you're a brutal liar. Yeah. As opposed to somebody who's just going to inform you of what they believe to be the truth.
Yep.
Right.
Listen, man. I explained to with what you're saying, I explained to my mother, we were driving back from the Shiva, and I explained to her, we got into talking about, people who took the Shmexin. And I was saying how, like, I don't know what even the topic was, but I basically got into the whole thing, and she actually agreed with me. I was like, I'm like, you realize that people, this was the whole brilliance of these Nazis. Ching Ching Chong, get off the phone, please. Don't make me hurt you.
That was the brilliance of the Nazis. Ching Chang Chong, get off the phone.
I just hear noises. The brilliance of the Nazis was they know what motivates most.
Can you do it? Can you do it as Joker? I just hear noises.
I'm just schizophrenic. No. The brilliance of the Nazis is that these Nazis is that they know what drives most people, which is basically, like you said, the distractions, and they think the distractions are actually what life is all about. Whether it's a trip, whether it's here, whether it's there. And my mother was like, well, at first she's like, well, listen, you can't just you need to, studies have shown in order to stay psychologically sane, you need to see different things, you need to go places, you need to go travel, you need to get outside, you need to, I'm like, I agree, but there's a difference between that and, is all of that or some of that worth your health? Or is it worth your life? Or worth taking something at the barrel of a gun? And she's like, no. I'm like, okay. And, they know that most people think that is. Or, I don't know if they think it's worth your health, but they know, they convince people that whatever it is they're going to take, which is insane to me. It's insane how people just didn't realize that, hey, just by virtue of the fact that it's being coerced and forced is already sinister enough. Again, the salesman informs the product. So it's but they convince them that it's just a little, in the words of Dr. Evil, just a little prick, mini-me, just to, and then you can do whatever you want. You can go wherever you want. You can have your life back. And it's just dude.
Yeah, we just come over. We come over twice a week and bend you over, and then you can have your life back.
Yeah.
Then it's 3 times a week, and then maybe it's not all your lives. Maybe it's only every other one of you.
Yeah.
There's not enough room for everyone.
Maybe somebody will be lucky. Some of you may be lucky enough to wake up after the first 2, and realize that this is a scam, or not a scam, but at the very least that it just doesn't work. It's not effective. So a lot of people realize that it's not effective, but they still have 2 of this crap in their body, and now they have to go and take, figure out how the hell to get it out, or like your brother says, just mitigate it at this point. Dude, Hamill.
We should not. I mean, since we touched upon it,
Yeah.
How is my brother telling people to mitigate it at this point? So you have 600 milligrams of I'm just going to say it, NAC.
Yeah, and acetylcysteine. And you know how you know it works? Because Amazon banned the sale of it. On Amazon.
Hold on. I'm just going to give them the whole protocol so people get lost. You know, we got to minimize the chaos for a minute.
Yep.
I just like to minimize chaos.
Anyway.
That was very menacing.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So here's the mitigating, God willing, mitigating protocol. Okay. So you have 600 milligrams per day of N like Nancy, A like Apple, C, NAC.
Yeah.
Okay. Then you have 400 milligrams a day of EGCG. That's Edgar, Glenn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Charlie.
Catherine.
C.
Glenn.
Charlie. Yeah.
No, EGCG.
Yeah.
So it's EGCG. Okay, 400 milligrams a day.
Which is basically jacked up, potentized.
It's extracted from green tea.
Green tea, but you're not going to get
you're not going to get enough green tea in a month.
Yeah.
You know, to get the EGCG you need. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so then you got zinc. You know, you take your 25 to 50 milligrams of elemental zinc. Any zinc. Doesn't have to be zinc sulfate or zinc gluconate, any zinc. Okay. All right. Then you got your 5,000 international units of vitamin D. And then you got your 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C. And that's your mitigating protocol for people who made a bad decision.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you got people like Hamill, Mr.
Oh God!
Who took 4?
He took a shot of midichlorians.
Dude, it's
just
just.
I'm telling you, he needs to stay up with the force.
I'm telling you, if we hear news in like, I don't know, within the next couple of months, I'm just not going to be surprised. I'm sorry. I don't wish anything on it. Hold on a second, man. Give me a second. Sorry about that.
No problem. You know, speaking of Mark Hamill, let's say a good word about him. I like his take on the Joker. Not his take. I like his version of he voiced the Joker for
the cartoon.
For the cartoon, he did that to me is like that's one of the best Jokers next to Jack Nicholson.
Yeah.
You know, did a great job with that. That voice. It's listen. He's a great voice actor, but he's an idiot.
Yeah.
You can be a great voice actor, and you can be an idiot. You can be a tremendous scientist and an absolute baboon when it comes to anything else. I've seen that over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And I saw it again today. And it was very upsetting.
Yeah.
Okay, there's this I'm not going to get into it, whatever. It's just this idiot, you know?
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's creepy. You know, I saw. There was a scientist that I had some level of respect for, and then I just by accident, I saw there's some of their statements on Twitter.
Yeah.
And I haven't been on Twitter in a long time, and now because of all this, I'm checking my brother's Twitter.
Yeah.
And then I every now and then I check in on these other people's Twitter that I used to visit often, and then I see this guy. He's a rabid Trump hater. And not only that, it's like it was like psychotic. It wasn't even like, oh, that Trump guy or something like that. He goes, oh, Trump and his supporters. Oh, it looks like the cockroaches have come out. I'm like, oh crap.
Yeah.
I actually had some level of respect for this baboon.
Yeah, and then you actually learn who people are.
And it's so funny. Exactly what he said is exactly the truth about him.
Yep.
The cockroaches came out.
Dude, by the way, the chief rabbi of Israel, the Ashkenazi one, Rabbi Lau, the son.
Yeah.
He was at the forefront of pushing the stuff, and now his wife had a stroke and is in critical condition. It's a poor Lau. These people are not elderly. She's like looks like she's in her late 50s. Here, let's read this. Tzipor Lau. Yeah, here you go. Suffered a stroke while spending Pesach with her family on the Greek island of Crete. She was flown to Israel and is in critical condition. Yeah, had an apparent stroke while spending the Pesach holiday with her family in Crete. She was rushed to a hospital in Shvish al Pesach and was then flown to Israel on an intensive care aircraft and special medical team. Underwent catheterization at Belenson Hospital in Petach Tikva. She's 53 years old, daughter of Rabbi Yitzhak Ralbag, rabbi of the Maladafna neighborhood in Jerusalem. Maladafna is like Sanhedria, basically. And a member of the Chief Rabbinical Council of Israel. On Sunday morning, this is like, like Israeli, Ashkenazi, Jewry royalty kind of thing. On Sunday morning, Mrs. Lau underwent another complex operation, according to reports, and doctors said she is not in life-threatening danger, but was still in critical condition. In a public call, her husband, Rabbi Lau, asked for prayers to be said in the merit of her recovery. Mitzvah campaign was launched in her merit. Haridi/Harbanit. Her name is Fego Tzipora Bas Hadassah. Your brother, somebody posted it on a comment section of one of his posts. It's crazy, just crazy. A lot of goyim call your brother America's doctor.
No, it's like amazing.
It's crazy. Yeah, look at this. Pathologist Ryan Cole of Mayo Clinic on what we were seeing in lab results. It's like a video. I didn't watch it. Oh, it's from before. It's from a long time ago. I don't know, man. We'll see. It's like, all this stuff is going to come to the surface now.
What you said earlier, like maybe even if Musk is what I say he is, right?
Yeah.
That that for the time being, right? A lot of this stuff is resurfacing, and a lot of people are, let's say, seeing it for the first time, right? Or seeing it again after a bunch of bad stuff has happened. So it's hitting differently, right? Maybe there's still some people to save, right? Like not everybody is doomed just yet, and there's still plenty of people that need to, that they need this information. So maybe you're right.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm looking at a picture right now. There's like a preschool or a kindergarten, like Halloween party. Like all the kids are like dressed like cute little like whatever, you know what I mean? And then one psychotic group, like a set of parents turn their kid into Pennywise.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm just reading this guy, Jeff Broomfield, on Twitter. He's just bashing Americans' frontline doctors. Oh God.
There are people who are possessed, I think, demonically possessed. I know it sounds extreme, but if you folks at home, if you were to, like imagine, just let me create a scenario, just like a thought experiment for the people, right? So it was very startling experience because I remember when my brother came up with this protocol like early on, right? And we got to work and using it, saving people's lives, right? And then we wanted other people to know. And right away, without any possible way that these people can know whether or not, like they didn't even ask, like Nurse Blimmy or this, all of these like creatures, right? It's not like they called and said, listen, that's amazing news. You say that you have this like protocol. So, can I see your your evidence? Can we see can we interview the survivors? I was like, yeah, sure, please. We're trying to let people know. We want people to see this. No, that was none of that. They came swinging. They came out swinging hard, straight from the beginning. Yeah. Folks, how is that? How are we supposed to interpret that?
Yeah.
That means they were demonic from the get-go.
Yeah.
Why? Why were they like this? Like it doesn't make any sense. It's psychologically disturbing. It's mentally disturbing to me. Like I've never seen evil on that level before. like Nurse Blindy, why did you come out swinging? Like, what possible reason could you have without even asking a single question, without investigating, without nothing? There were people calling. I talked to some of them. I was explaining. It wasn't just me, so others, even my mom, like we were explaining. We had the data, you didn't call, you didn't ask, you didn't inquire. You just went straight for the jugular.
Yeah.
You're an animal. Why would you, money, is it money? Like, were you paid off, like, to kill your own people?
Yeah. That's the thing. They keep talking about how there's, like, all these different telemedicine people, giving HCQ and ivermectin who are charging money. First of all, this stuff is not covered by insurance. What are people supposed to do? Not have parnassa?
Oh, can you imagine charging money?
I know, as opposed, not to be confused with Pfizer making bazillions of dollars.
Right. Why don't we, not only should we sacrifice, put ourselves in political jeopardy and in legal jeopardy, right? And deal with Cuomo's and Gretchen Whitmers and all these people, right?
Yeah.
We should also do it for free because you care so much about our families and keeping the lights on and keeping food in children's stomachs. Fuck you all.
Dude, it's just, I don't know, like, I don't know how to answer these people. It's just like, you read some of this stuff. They were willing to kill people for $90. Show me one person who died from these treatments. One, just хоть один. Can you show me?
I get weird thoughts. You ever seen Bloodsport?
Okay.
The movie Bloodsport?
Yeah, of course.
Remember there's like the Mexican dude.
Yeah.
He was like the knee guy, right? He liked to kill people with his knees.
He was Brazilian.
No, that was a different guy.
Oh.
There's like this one guy. He looked like a Mexican boxer. He had like really high trunks, and he's kind of like
he's Brazilian.
He had like this little hunch thing.
Yeah, he's Brazilian. He's Brazilian guy. Yeah. Brazilian.
Dude, there was a Brazilian guy, and then there was him.
No, there was a Brazilian kind of guy that jumped around, but then there was that guy who's also, I guess.
I knew you were gonna do this. I knew you were gonna start driving me crazy.
Anyway, I know exactly who you're talking about. He's a kickboxer. I know exactly who you're talking about.
He was a Mexican. Okay. I promise he was Mexican. Okay.
Okay, fine.
And he had this like look on his face, right? Yeah. And he's like even after you knocked out the dude, he's like still kneeing them in the face.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just want to line all these people up, knee them.
I mean, I don't know. Yeah, listen.
There's nothing quite as a. See, the thing about like Jews, when we're good, we're good. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like but like when it's it's also like those that are obnoxious are like diesel obnoxious.
Yeah.
They have like no self-awareness, right? Of like how they appear. Like that guy that you're like, what's the Shiloh? Like that guy.
Yeah, that guy, yeah. My God. Dude, that's what the scariest part is, that some of the rabbis in that video are, people who either some of them I actually heard of or I met in person, or I've been, to the shul that they speak at, as like a guest, whatever. I'm not going to say where. And these are respected people. And actually, some of them are, like, you talk to them, they're very nice people. They're not bad people. That's the scariest part. I think they were just either, at best, just, guided down a wrong path. They were misguided. Or they were paid, or they were given kavod, or they were threatened. And it's scary. It's really scary what can happen to some of the best people, so to speak, best people. Again, you can say they're not. Well, if they did this, they're not such good people. No, like they're literally, like, some of them are quality people. Midos and learning and davening, like real, genuine, real deal. You know how we've been talking about lately about how people are just like lamdans, academics. when it comes to Torah.
Yeah.
Some of these people are not just academics. They are people who are, Bali Emuna, whatever, or try to be. And they were broken down by this force. That's what's scary. That this thing broke them down. It just broke them down into like, some of them became ninnies, some of them became just, I don't know. Again, it must be something that they have on them, because I'm telling you, I feel like half these, let's say if there was 10 people in that video, I think 5 of them got threatened because of, I don't know, something.
How do you know they were Bali Amuna? My curiosity, right? Because you make statements like this, right? And I totally believe it's possible.
Some of these,
I'm just curious as to how do you go about
some of these people, you have to understand something. Some of these people, for example, have, let's say, I'm just giving you an example. Like, let's say they have 8 children, and one of them is like, a HASC case. You know what a HASC case is, right? Like a child that...
Sure, I was a residential rehabilitation.
Yeah, house. One of them is a kid that ends up in HASC. Another one is like, let's say, I don't know, some kind of off the derech. Another one is like a drug, this. So these are people who are dealing with this kind of stuff. And then they probably have other stuff that goes on. And these kind of people are dealt difficult hands. And we know the whole thing of Hashem doesn't give you something you can't handle. Doesn't mean it's easy. It's not easy for them. So these people are, it's like Rabbi Mizrahi. He has a son who has a drug problem, right? And Rabbi Mizrahi was saying how he's for this stuff, right? So these are people who don't have easy lives. As much as Rabbi Mizrahi, he says certain things, people disagree with him, but he's not a bad person. He tries to do what he can for Klal Yisrael in the way that he, kind of knows how or thinks is best. Maybe he's wrong, maybe he's right, whatever. But that he's coming from the heart. He's not coming out of malicious intent. You know that, right? And
yet, here's what I'm going to say. I want to be generous.
Yeah.
I want to be generous. Okay? I'm going to say that this, the Shmak scene is the Shabtai Tzvi of our generation.
For sure. And we know
the false Messiah that everybody bought into.
Yeah, and we know that at that time, even people like these big rabbis who are, again, like, some of them went after this. They went after this hook, line, and freaking sinker. And actually, this is what, and now you can imagine why. Dude, honestly, as much as we talk about, oh, come on, what's the big deal about this whole Hasidus and Misnagdim and all this kind of stuff, but you can really, I think if you and I would have lived at that time, we would have been so traumatized by this horrible tragedy that we would have not wanted to hear about, Kabbalah ever again, or whatever it is that was attached to this. We wouldn't have not wanted to hear about it ever again for I don't know how many years, or like our families would have just haven't had an aversion to it for years until, I don't know, even Baal Shem Tov, we probably would have been like, oh my God, like, again with this, like you can't blame people that experience something that shocking. It's or went there and then had a downfall like that. Like the whole nation had a downfall. The whole nation. Think about that. So now imagine what's going to happen here. Like, I can't even.
Before imagining what's going to happen here with this, I'd like to veer up to a completely different topic.
Okay.
For a moment.
Okay.
Guys with younger women, much younger women. I'm looking at.
Wow, man, here. This is like, you know what this is? You ever see the movie? I don't know. I can only imagine. Like Cannonball Run or something. It's just like,
dude. I'm speaking to you as a married man who married a woman who was my own age.
I understand.
So
No,
it's not like I'm advocating for this because
I'm not talking
I'm
about
some kind
that.
of like creep.
I'm not.
You need to have a family with kids.
I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about you like did a very sharp turn on the highway, and you're like driving, dude. You know you did the equivalent of like driving on the turnpike.
It was too tempting.
And then you just like and then you just like did a 90-degree turn into like the swamp in Elizabeth, New Jersey.
I felt like it would be a good shtick. You know, it was just like too tempting.
Dude, you just like veered off, and you're like, and then the cop pulls up and he's like, "Sir, what are you doing?" I'm like, and you'd be like, "Well, I just decided to pull over in the swamp here in freaking Kearney, New Jersey. I was going 80 miles an hour on the turnpike, but now I just decided to stop here in this."
It's my way. That's what I do. Sometimes I just like to veer off.
Sometimes I just turn away, turn off.
All right, so hold on. I'm gonna read couples now, okay?
Okay.
Right,
wait, what are you gonna?
I'm gonna skip DiCaprio.
What are you gonna read?
I'm gonna read a list of old guys with smoking hot young wives.
Did you hear that there was one joke, just one, in the words of Johnny Dangerously, that Amy Schumer told, which is kind of a low-hanging fruit. And she said, we're going to try to do our best to leave or like save the environment for generations to come, including many of Leonardo DiCaprio's girlfriends, something like that.
Yeah.
It's a low-hanging fruit joke.
I'm supposed to laugh. Oh, it's so funny.
By the time, or like Ricky Gervais said, by the time this award show ends, DiCaprio's girlfriend will be too old for him.
I heard Norm Macdonald say at some political thing where he's like, table 17. Really sorry that you haven't seen your waitress in a while. It would seem that Larry King has married her.
That's actually great.
He has a habit of marrying waitresses. Apparently, it says here on this card.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. So read these.
All right. So we got Steven Tyler here. Okay. I don't know why they didn't give the stats.
Who looks like a
41-year difference between the two.
Oh my God! Who looks like a Sumka?
He actually looks okay. I don't know, somehow, after all those drugs.
I mean, dude, I saw him live in Mohegan Sun in 2007.
Dude, is Keith Richards still with us?
Yes, he is.
Dude, Keith Richards. I'm not going to get into it.
Did you ever see that Keith Richards meme? There's a meme that says, I'll tell you what it says. It's actually quite funny. Here. Keith Richards. Hold on. Meme. The meme says... I think youngsters need to start think about what kind of world they're going to leave for Keith Richards and me, Willie Nelson. I'm not getting old. I'm evolving, Keith Richards. Every time you smoke a cigarette, you lose 1 minute of your life, and give it to Keith Richards.
At the end of time, you're gonna have too bad George Burns isn't with us. I mean, that would have been great.
Listen to this. These are the daughters of Keith Richards. They're like girls in their 20s. When they die, he will inherit everything.
Right.
Hey, Mick Jagger,
he will date the granddaughters of their friends.
Yes. Hey, Mick, look who I outlived this week. Keith Richards beating the odds before you were born. For every dead celebrity, God gives Keith Richards 1 year of life. Hold on. This is Dick Clark, Betty White, and Keith Richards. COVID 28 days later. Where the hell is everyone? Keith Richards standing on the balcony. COVID-19, I'm still here. Keith Richards, picture of Keith Richards.
All right, here we go. Here's a list. All right, here's a list. Just a moment. Leela, George, and Sean Penn with a 32-year age gap.
Whoa.
I thought he was married to Jenny, from Forrest Gump. Remember Jenny?
Yeah.
I know what love is, Jenny.
He was.
I might not be a smart man, but I know what love is. Okay. Yeah. So we have Maytal Dohan
and
Al Pacino with a 39-year age gap.
What the hell? God.
All right.
Israeli chick.
All right.
That's good. Yeah, I'm looking at them. It looks really
he's
weird.
married to an Israeli broad? All right.
Yeah, it looks really weird, the whole thing.
God damn it. All right. So we have so we have Sean Penn.
Mm-hmm.
No, I just said Sean Penn. Okay.
Yeah.
We have Laura Savoy married to Dennis Quaid with a 40-year age gap.
Wait, who? Hold on. Wife? Let's see.
Laura Savoy.
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 Yeah, married to Dennis Quaid. She's not bad.
They spell their names like this on purpose. All right.
Yeah. She's not too bad.
Yeah, so Quaid is 65.
Yeah.
All right. And, okay, great. So we have Katie Holmes and Tom Cruise, and they break up? Whatever. All right. Yeah. We have Alba Jean with Pete Cook, and there's a 40-year difference.
Yeah.
All right. We have Florence Pugh and Zach Braff. So far, I'm noticing that all these actors that we know are marrying young women whose names are unpronounceable.
Yeah. Huh. Zach Braff is only 47. I don't know what that means. He's only 40.
Florence Pugh.
He's only 47.
P-U-G-H. How would you... Puka? Zach Braff. You know, the guy from what was that?
Yeah. New Garden State.
Scrubs.
Garden State.
All right, then we got Michael Sheen with a 25-year age gap and Anna Lundberg. Okay, so we have Katie Walsh and Kelsey Grammer, 25-year age.
Yeah.
Okay. Kelsey still looks good. I can picture him. You know,
he's 67. Wow.
Yeah, but he looks like you could still see him with a young lady. Yeah. He's like somehow put together. Whatever. Yeah. All right. By the way, that poor guy, Kelsey Grammer.
Yeah.
His family is just murdered. It's just it's unbelievable.
Wait, what is family?
His family was like, it's shocking.
Oh, yeah. He had some stuff happen.
Sister and all this, and it wasn't just one thing. It's like it's terrifying. Anyway, so we have poor guy. All right, so we have April Love Geary and Robin Thicke. I don't know who any of these people are, but they're 20 years apart.
Robin Thicke is Alan Thicke's son. Remember Alan Thicke, the guy?
I know Alan Thicke. Yeah, that's the same.
That's his son. Yeah.
So Alan. So not only his son is old enough to have a 20-year age gap. Yeah, with I guess technically we're in that same boat right now, right? Like,
yeah.
Okay, then we have Kelsey Taylor and Dane Cook. Oh, Dane Cook is he's a comedian, right?
The corny comedian.
26 horrible comedian?
He's a corny.
You said horrible?
I said corny.
I'll give him more credit than that. I've seen some stuff that, no, I mean, he's a really good physical comedian, I think. Like, he did this whole thing.
Yeah.
He was doing this thing about, like, cheating, you know, like he goes, you know, when you sneak back into the house, right? And you know how, like, everything squeaks when you try to sneak into the house, right? Even the floorboards are like, cheater! You know, like the floorboards say, cheat! You know, like, that was funny.
Cheater!
All right. Yeah. Liar! You know, lies! Right? Like, or it's like the telltale heart, you know?
Yeah.
So we have Catherine McPhee and David Foster, 35. All right, at least her name is pronounceable, which is cute. 35-year difference. I don't know who the guy is. Then we have Lori Harvey and P. Diddy, 30 years apart. All right?
Interesting.
Demi Lovato and Wilder Valderrama, 12 years apart.
Yeah,
you know, he looks like... It's like Fez, right?
Wilmer.
That kid from the 70s.
Yeah, Wilmer Valderrama, yeah.
Why does Fez look like a 70s college professor now? With a turtleneck and a beard. Anyway, moving on.
Wait, what?
Yeah, he has like, I'm looking at this picture where he's like wearing like a blazer with a turtleneck. And he's like bearded,
he doesn't...
salt and pepper beard.
Really? Because
like Professor Fez.
Because I'm looking at him now, 2022. He looks like just shaven and everything. Like he doesn't look Interesting.
And then we have Jennifer Flavin,
Yeah.
and Stallone, right?
Yeah.
22 years apart.
Yeah.
But he, that you could see, like, he's in shape. He's in better shape at, what is he, 197?
Yeah.
He's in better shape at 50,000 years old than I am, and have ever been.
Yeah.
And so was Tyson, by the way. You saw that Tyson? He was like, by the way, Tyson did not just randomly beat somebody on a plane, for the folks at home. Yeah. Okay? He was a crazy drunk criminal who was harassing Tyson and other passengers. And he was like getting crazy.
Yeah.
All right? That's what happened. For once, Tyson wasn't losing it. For once, he was not the unhinged one.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, Rosalind Ross and Mel Gibson, 35 years apart. It's crazy. It's shocking. Like, this guy is unbelievable. He is the biggest hustler in the history of like the world, Mel Gibson. He goes on these religious rants, right? He's so pious and he's so committed. And then you get recordings of him yelling at his Russian mistress, and telling her to go bang the like a whole basketball team full of, black guys and stuff like that, except he was using the racial, the nice guy. Yeah. Mark Wahlberg chose a good partner in crime. All right. Fine. So we got.
So what is your? Can I ask you a question? What is your goal with all of this? You're trying to basically tell me that I merit.
No.
I'm trying to show
you that it's very, very, very common and always has been.
Of course, it's common, but it's easier when you're a freaking celebrity.
Well, I'm trying to make you a celebrity, and you won't commit. I'm trying to make you famous, and you want to go to freaking law school like a putz. Okay? So, anyway.
You mean like the character from the Tanakh, whose name is Patzael?
I don't want to talk that. You know what? I was re-listening to that part. I don't want to. I realized later I shouldn't say the name. Like, I never looked into it. I didn't look into the demonology. Yeah. But it's probably better not to say the names of these.
He was a demon?
Oh no! I thought you were talking about that segment that we were reading from the book. Remember the book, like cinema symbolism? We were talking about like not Poltergeist. We were talking about The Exorcist.
Okay.
And the name of the demon was something similar to what you just said.
Really?
That's why I thought.
No, because Patzael he wasn't a demon. He was a character from Tanakh.
Patzael, really?
He was one of the sons of here. Patzael.
I am not knowing of a person like that.
Yeah, here. Hold on a second.
I'm only holding at the book of the first book of Samuel right now. I haven't gotten to Tanakh yet.
Here.
Yeah.
Hold on a second.
It's actually the name of a moshav in Israel right now.
Yeah, name of a moshav, but the name is from here. Oh, shit. Hold on a second. It's a moshav, but it's where's the name from? Oh my god, who was this guy? 1 second. He was a son of I think Shaul or Shlomo HaMelech, one of these guys.
Named for the older brother of Herod the Great.
There you go. Where'd you find that?
Yeah, but he's not. Herod is not. That's on Wikipedia. Herod the Great is not from Tanakh.
Not Tanakh, but Jewish history.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Patzael.
Yeah.
Tragic name. Okay. He would not be happy in Poland. I'll tell you that.
That's right.
All right. So, Dolph Lundgren is 40 years older than his wife.
That's absolutely insane.
Dude, but he's another one of those guys who's like in sick shape.
Yeah, no, of course. No, but
he's a beast, man.
The thing is not about shape. What do they talk about?
Dude,
like I meet.
Guys don't like to talk.
Dude, I'm telling you, I meet I hear, but I'm telling you, I meet girls. I meet girls who are like even girls like my sister's age. Some of them I can talk to, I can, but some of them it's like just I don't know, man. It's already a different.
So talk to. Okay, dude, listen. You
Hmm.
talk to the ones that you got to talk to.
Yeah.
Don't be Rip Van Winkle. Who's that? Rip Van Winkle was ripped off of a person from the Talmud, right?
Yeah.
Who was the one who woke up in the next generation? He woke up. He went to bed. He went to sleep for 70 years. Woke up in the next generation and then prayed to die because he couldn't live in that generation.
Hold on. Rabbi from Talmud slept for many years. Let's see.
Captain Picard is 40 years older than his wife.
Yeah, Honi. Oh wait, sat down to
Honi Amago.
and slept over
Honi
cave
the
as he
circle
slept.
maker.
Yeah, rocky formation closed, which hid him from sight as he slept for 70 years. Honi Amago.
Honi Amago, yeah.
There's a wine from Sheila Winery called Honi. He was also the circle maker, the whole
Yeah?
the rain and everything. I went to his kever, actually, a couple of years ago. Or a year ago. Interesting place. I ended up going there because they closed Amuka, the kever of Yonatan ben Uziel. So I went to Hamagel, which is right next to it. No, like not next to it, but like 15 minutes away. It's interesting. It's like, you gotta love Israel, man. You don't, it's like, if one kever's closed, you end up in like Honi Hamagel.
Yeah.
And if you don't end up Honi Hamagel, you'll just go to like...
You go to Habakkuk.
Yeah, you'll go to like some... It's just insane. It's just... Dude, there's a book you can get that has every kever. It tells you every kever of every Tana, every Amora, every this. I actually went to the place... I went to a wedding in a place called Kadita, where Rabbi Tarfon is buried. Dude, if I was the Israeli government, you know what I would do? I would just literally, instead of doing stupid hasbara and showing people like Dead Sea in Tel Aviv, I would just say, hey guys, you keep telling us about like that we're like usurpers and this and that. We have these graves here of people from the year like 0. Just show them like Tanaim. Show them. Just show them those people. Show them like Rebbe Kiva and like the 10 martyrs. Like,
I think I've.
It's the easiest thing. It's the easiest thing.
Hold on. I want to like say something else entirely. That the whole thing about proving stuff. Yeah. Right. I could not care less if the entire world thought that we were usurpers.
I know.
And that I don't. I literally have not the slightest inclination in my soul, in my body, in my mind, to prove to anybody anything. I could not care.
I'm just talking about, well, first of all, what I mean is like if you're going to go down that route. The second thing is just to educate our own people. Like you're talking about all these Jewish college students who are at best apathetic, and at worst they're joining, Students for Justice in Fakestein. So, again,
have you ever had a personal urge to ever go against your own people?
No.
Even before you were religious?
No.
No, me neither. Okay? I don't know many people that would. Like, we come from Soviet Jews, the most secular Jews of them all.
Yeah.
Right? Most of them wouldn't go against.
Dude, Soviet Jews followed a really, really religious guy named Kahana.
Yeah.
Because they had one thing in common. Despising, they knew that the Soviet Union was funding and supporting the Arabs. So, and they knew that Kahana fought for us. We knew that Kahana fought for us, so it's like...
Yeah, Kahana did a lot to help get Soviet Jews out of Russia. He did a lot of shenanigans against the Russian embassy and the Moscow ballet.
Yeah, I was gonna say they bombed a performance in New York.
he threw. No, right. He threw like a bunch of
Molotov
marbles on
cocktails.
stage or something like that.
Yeah, Molotov cocktails. Whatever, yeah.
No, marbles, not a Molotov cocktail.
No, they also did that, I think.
Can you picture that? Like that scene where like there's ballerinas. He just somebody throws a bunch of marbles on the stage, and oh, what a circus. But yeah, no. But I'm saying that like I can't even relate to that idea. Like there's so many scumbags that we have in our people. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like you can say, look, anybody could say to themselves, like, if I was an Irishman, or if I was an Italian, if I was anything, right, an Eskimo, it doesn't matter, okay? Yeah. I would know that some people are good, some people are bad. Every place in the world is good. There's no culture that's entirely bad, except for the cultures that call for honor killing and, you know, where that kind of stuff is acceptable. Those cultures are all bad. Fuck them, okay? Yeah. Seriously, fuck them, okay? Yeah. But I'm saying, like, cultures where murder is not acceptable. Yeah. Okay? I'll call that the line of normalcy. Yeah. Normalcy, whatever, okay? Yeah. You can decide that, like, you can realize, a normal person will realize that, you know, you go to England, you'll find, like, you know, you have your good people, you got your people in the middle, and you got your ass munchers. Yeah. Okay? It's true, right? So to go against your own people because you've seen some of them act bad or whatever excuse you make up is lame. There's something wrong with you spiritually. Yeah. There's something wrong with the root of your soul, with your mind, with everything about you.
No, but we understand that there's a, you know, obviously it's not surprising that it's happening in the Jewish nation because we understand that it's like, you know, it's an Erev Rav thing.
Yeah.
It's not so simple. It's not just like Irish guy going against Irishman. It's Erev Rav. It's like a very particular.
How many self-hating Irishmen do you know?
Not that many.
You'll find a lot of self-deprecating Irishmen, but not self-hating.
Yeah, that's way different.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I met one guy, this guy, Ian. Did I tell you this guy? Ian McGonigal. You know, he's a pro-Israel guy from Ireland, professor. He's the guy that did this whole thing of, he did a whole project about Judea and Samaria. Oh, sorry. About the wineries, but like, you know, and he told me like he just told me how like Catholicism is this and that and the other. Basically, you know, selling a bill of goods. But he's more interested in Judaism, actually, you know. But it doesn't mean he hates Ireland.
Right.
Or his people. Chas v'shalom, you know.
Such a man, it's really...
Yeah, listen, you know. No, so I was going to say that, like, you know, the whole point is to target those kids on campuses. And I don't know, man. It just doesn't seem like... It seems like authenticity would be the way. And when I say authenticity, I'm talking about, like, showing people that, like, again, there are books that we still read... And everybody thinks those books are hogwash. Everybody thinks those books are like making up stories of people who never existed. But then like there's just like graves all over Israel corroborating these people's existence. Literally. I mean, it's just you can't, whether it's Rambam or Rabbi Akiva, this rabbi, that rabbi, you know.
It's like Zuckerberg's face on all of them, on all these kids.
Yeah.
They all look like Zuckerberg. They all have that, like, oh, God, it's so obnoxious. Yeah. Just can't say.
Huh. Yeah, listen, I mean, dude, even when I go, you know, when I was in Jerusalem.
Dude, they all get the Paco knee. They all get the Paco knee. All of them.
Listen, man.
Line them up.
When I would go to the Shuk, Machane Yehuda in Jerusalem, let's say on a Thursday or a Friday afternoon, you know, if I was so inclined for complete insanity, and I would see these, you know, again, granted, it's like birthright, American birthright kids, you know? And I'm looking at them and I'm just kind of like, my God, what is that noise? Ching chang chong, get off the phone.
I didn't hear nothing, man.
I think Taglit themselves are trying to get into. They don't like what I'm saying.
Taglit?
Taglit, yeah, the organization that organizes birthright trips. Yeah, man, I don't know. I'm like looking at these kids and I'm just kind of like, what are they going to get out of this trip? You know, most of them are going to go home and they're never going to be engaged Jewishly again. Or they're going to just, they're just going to continue their lives as like...
Wait, why do you say that though? Like what?
No, because I know I know the statistics. I know that some of them are engaged Jewishly after that. Some of them are, but most are not. Most are not. It's just the way. It's just reality.
But you know the problem. You know the problem with the way we're talking. There's a big problem. Yeah. Just another difficult thing about God. Mm-hmm. He wants them.
He wants what?
He wants them.
Of course he does.
I personally don't see it, but he wants what he wants, you know?
Okay.
And
so how is he showing that he wants them?
He doesn't show nothing.
He
said it in the... Look, everything that we know about God is from the Torah, okay? It's from the tradition that we carried on. Okay. God, it doesn't... if you want to look at the world, right? And if you wanted to get messages, right, by reading the events of the world, then it doesn't look like that he wants us at all. If that's how you want to look at it, then it doesn't seem like we're very popular with him at all. But we're told that we have to look through the world of Sheker, right, and then just focus on what God revealed to us, like in the Torah itself, and we know why the Torah is real. We know that. Okay, that's my way of navigating through this world.
Yeah.
So, if you're to interpret God's intention by interpreting just the events, and then
because if you're gonna look at like how these kids are taken to Ben Gurion house, then you're not gonna get a nice picture of God.
I mean, I was thinking more like the Holocaust or Corona or the Schmaxine, and or letting Pelosi live to a nice ripe old age.
Well, listen again,
right? And Soros and all, giving so much life to all these people.
But we know all the hashkafic, so to speak, understandings of what that is. We understand why this is all happening. We understand it. We seriously do. Those are simple to understand. Kind of level A assessments. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
So where were we before we turned off a 90-degree angle and started talking about... Oh, yeah, you're talking about, so basically it's possible to be with a younger woman. Yeah, of course it is.
Dude, you just have to, I think just, people your sister's age, somewhere like a little bit older than that. I think that's your wheelhouse.
Huh.
That's your wheelhouse. Women are supposedly more mature than us. They mature quicker.
Or like
my unfavorite comedian said, Nick DiPaolo, who I don't like at all. Okay, this angry Italian, bitter comedian that bothers me. Everything that he says, hate him.
Yeah.
So he goes, our stuff ages like mustard. Your stuff, their stuff ages like fresh fruit.
Yeah,
not well.
Yeah. Dude, again, milk versus wine. It's that simple.
It's like a jar of mustard that lasts forever.
It's like a what?
He said we're like a jar of mustard. Our stuff lasts forever.
Yeah. That's hilarious. Oh my God, disgusting. It's freaking terrible. That's really freaking terrible.
I hate that guy so much. And you guys know what I mean by I hate him. You know that.
Yeah.
Our listeners know. So, yeah, man. How are we going to pull this conversation up?
Well, we're talking about the tree of life, so like.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like we've been talking about the tree of life, but we have. We started out talking about the tree of life. You know what the tree of life is? Yeah. You know what? If I'm going to say that Elon Musk, and I'm thinking, by the way, Musk.
Yeah.
You know, Elon, we know that tree, right? Yeah. What is Musk?
Musk is like a smell.
In
like
Hebrew,
like a stench.
The closest thing I can think of is Damascus.
Yeah.
Right? Damascus, right?
Oh, wow. Okay. Interesting.
Like Eliezer, you know? Eliezer from Damascus.
Yeah.
Right? So I don't know what that means just yet. Right? And then I was thinking, after Damascus, I was thinking mask.
Yeah.
Right? Elon Musk.
Yeah.
So interpreting his name not going well for Elon so far. Okay? He's a tree. He's from Damascus. Yeah. He wears masks. All right. I don't know, man. I don't know. But again, he's the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. So who's the tree of life? Who's the tree of life? Tree of life is anybody who is trying to uncover the Sitra Achra.
Yeah.
I think we're part of the tree of life.
Could be.
We're trying to be.
We're small branches, yeah.
Okay? My brother, I think, is a very, very significant branch in the tree of life.
For sure.
In terms of revealing accurate information that is of use to people, save lives, right?
Yeah.
Right?
And to the point where Sitra Achra had to literally, like, ban it from, I don't know, pharmacies and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Okay. I think Rabbi Green is part of the tree of life, right? You know what I'm talking about?
Rabbi who?
Rabbi Green, the Chabad Shliach, who was railing against...
yeah, for sure. Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
I think he's a massive tree of lifer.
That's fine.
Okay? Anybody in the truth movement is a tree of lifer. Literally anybody. Okay? Jewish, not Jewish.
Yeah.
Okay? If you are all about just like, I don't care what the truth is, let the truth be what it is, and then just embrace it to the best of your ability, right? Like if the truth is this, then I adapt to it. You understand? Like I abandon my old notions, right? Once I realize that they are incorrect. And if you're interested in moving closer and closer to the truth, what you're actually doing, whether you realize it or not, is you're moving closer and closer to God, right?
Yeah.
Reality, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hashem Elokeichem Emet.
Yeah.
Right? The Lord is the God of reality.
Yep.
Okay, so you want to know, so that's the tree of life.
Yeah.
The tree of life really, as we know, is Kabbalah.
Yeah.
Okay. It's the deeper
sources
aspects of the Torah, of understanding what the verses really mean. That's the tree of life. Okay, cutting through the crap, literally cutting through the crap, cutting through the clip. The tree of life. What else is the tree of life?
Yeah. Let's see. I guess I could say
it's the tree of life.
Certain tzaddikim, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I mean, actually, by definition, all tzaddikim.
Yeah.
Right? If you're a tzaddik.
Yeah.
Right. Folks, for the folks at home, a tzaddik is a person who, well, there's two kind of categories. There's a person everybody has what's called an evil inclination or an animal soul.
Yeah.
Actually, those are not the same thing. My bad. Everybody has an evil inclination. Hebrew, it's the Yetzer Hara. Okay. All right. So there are people who have subdued their evil inclination entirely, nullified it. Okay, there are people who have killed their evil inclination, right? And they don't have the ability to sin. It's not even within the realm of possibility for them to commit a sin. That's what a tzaddik is. Okay, and then there's another level which is considered even higher than that, which there are people who took their evil inclination, they didn't kill it, they converted it.
They redirected it.
They did something, but they converted their evil inclination to now serve, to be completely subsumed. Is that the correct word? Did I just make that up? To be completely nullified and absorbed into their holy inclination. So now they have that ferocious power of their animalistic evil inclination, which is turned around. Now that power becomes used for good, only for good, and they don't even have the possibility of committing any sins. This is what a tzaddik is. So those people, by definition, they're connected to the tree of life. Okay. What say you? Greg is not saying much because Greg is sleeping now, so we can.
Oh goodness gracious!
We're gonna have to do 77.
Part 3. Oh my goodness. Dude, this
was a disaster.
Dude, no, it wasn't a disaster. I'm just emotionally drained from today.
Dude, I'm sleeping as we're speaking. I'm not sure if this is a dream.
I mean, we're like almost an hour and a half into this portion, this episode.
Is this waking life? I don't know.
Naftali Bennett wrote the following today, because he received a death threat of violence. He wrote, "Political dispute, no matter how deep, should not end up with violence, bullying, and death threats. We need to do everything as leaders and citizens whose future and their children's future in this country so that such phenomena simply won't happen. We are all human beings. Arguments and disagreements, yes. Bullying and threats, no." Oh, really? Bullying and threats, no, Mr. freaking Beaver. I'm a prime minister and a political man, but I'm also a husband and a father, and my duty is also to look after my wife and children. We need to tame the flames of the political discourse. On the eve of Memorial Days and Independence Day, I call everyone from all ends of the political rainbow, mainly for people active on social networks. It's a time of relaxation and reconciliation. We have one house and we must not burn it down. This guy's a clown. What a clown. Somebody showed a video of him talking in 2013, how he's all right-wing and all this and that.
Yeah.
They wrote, like, "Shut up already, you crybaby." Dude, all the Sephardim think he is a clown. Like, there's a picture of him at the Mimuna, you know, the whole thing of breaking of eating the chametz after Pesach. And these Moroccans are sitting around him, this whole family. They just look like they want to stab him. It's really crazy. What do you think?
The question is, well, yeah, obviously it's very crazy, you know, but that scene that you just painted, you know, like, you have this, like, hated leader, and no one does a thing to him when they're right next to him, right? Like, what is that? How, like, in the past, that could not have happened, right? Like, even, you know, there's a time when you know, you know what I mean? Like, in ancient Israel.
Dude, people are, you know, like, what is it called? They've been neutered. I don't know.
Yeah,
they're asleep.
It's the archetypes. It's archetype programming.
They're asleep. They've been neutered. Like, I have an Israeli friend. He's like, "Tzvi, what can you do? What can you possibly do to change the situation?" He tells me his father was a lawyer, you know, like Yemenite. He was fighting for the Yemenite kids that were taken.
Yeah.
And his father was Yemenite. So he's like, "Yeah, my father thought he were going to get into this, into that, and he's going to talk to people in the Knesset, he's going to do this." Nothing happens. Nothing happens. It's like, that's the mentality in Israel, that you can't change a damn thing. Like we were talking about the Shmek scene, he's like, "What can you possibly change?" I'm like, no, he's like, you're not going to change the world. I'm like, dude, I'm not trying to change the world. I'm trying to like stop the people within my arm's reach, within arm's length, my family, my friends, from doing something stupid. If they did something stupid, I want to give them this, how to mitigate that. Like, I'm not going to save the world, but we know what the Gemara says. You save one world, you save one life, you save a world.
Of course.
So that's it.
It's like it's like the biggest like sociopath like gangsters are complete. True psychopaths are now in power, right, in all the highest positions, and the meekest people, the biggest victims that have ever lived, are just kind of like we're living in the same same environment. It's like it's just like the Morlocks. And their food that they're cultivating from Time Machine.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. It's crazy.
It's happening. It's like that. That's what it is.
Yeah. It's crazy.
You know what's crazy?
What happened to you, Frank?
Like Twitter is crazy, but there's a picture of McKinnon. What's her name? Not Martha McKinnon. She was from
Kate McKinnon? Someone SNL? That weirdo?
Kate McKinnon, yeah, the cute lesbo from from SNL.
Yeah.
She's cute. I like her. I think she's pretty.
She also she's talented. She's very talented, actually.
Yeah, she's hilarious. She's hilarious.
Yeah. She does impressions. She's like the only talented person on that show.
I love her Justin Bieber. That's my favorite.
Oh yeah.
She does a great job.
Yeah.
I seriously have a fondness for her, even though she's a psychopathic leftist, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But she makes me laugh. So
Yeah.
She seems to be in a relationship with what's her name?
God. Hold on. DeGeneres? No. Hold on.
She was the.
She dated Bari Weiss? Oh my god.
Who's Bari Weiss?
She's the Jewish chick who apparently is a lesbian?
Oh my god.
It's weird. Hold on. What the heck? She's dating somebody now, you said?
There's a picture of her with this big black lady.
Oh my god.
Who was also on SNL.
Oh, you're talking about what's her face? Jones. Oh my god, that's like a.
Yeah, but what's her name?
Her Jones, something Jones. Leslie Jones. But that was
Leslie Jones. Yes.
Oh my god, that was in 2016, no?
Why?
Why what?
You know what I mean? Like now I'm starting to care. I'm starting to care about. About whether lesbian couples are matched up correctly. I need to get away from Twitter.
Yeah.
Okay? This is not a good thing that's happening to me.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm being transformed by freaking goddamn Illuminati. Whatever the hell that is. Who are apparently the Jesuits.
Yeah.
From what we learned last time, right?
Yeah.
We got to get back to that text, but it's going to have to be after 77.
Yeah.
By the way, Paco, the knee boxer.
Yes.
His name is, I think you're partly right. His name is Paulo Toca.
Yeah.
Okay, and he is from. Where is he from? His parents are Portuguese and Italian.
Yeah.
And he grew up in Mozambique. Okay, and then he went to South Africa.
Yes.
And then Hong Kong and Bangkok.
Yeah.
Tragically named city Bangkok.
Yeah.
In Asia before becoming. Bangkok is second only to Titicaca.
Yes, Lake Titicaca.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. So Bangkok in Asia before becoming an American. Toca. Yeah. Okay. So he's not Mexican or Portuguese in the slightest. Or Brazilian in the slightest.
Yeah.
Portuguese and Italian, and grew up in Mozambique.
His fighting style is it's like it's kickboxing, Thai boxing.
Muay Thai.
Muay Thai. Yeah. I like when he's like holding up his hands in the movie, his knuckles, and then he just like he waves like he's like come here kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then they try to put their knuckles together.
He was the third toughest guy that he had.
The
second toughest guy he faced.
No, it was second. Yeah, it was second. And then he was the second before the last boss, so to speak.
Yeah, it was like dramatic. He's like, come on.
Yeah,
they're kicking each other.
Yeah. I like the whole scene where like Van Damme just does these like roundhouse after roundhouse after roundhouse, but then the guy is ducking.
Roadhouse.
Well, sir.
Yeah. He's doing mad. He's doing mad roundhouse. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love that movie unabashedly.
Yeah.
And I miss Van Damme, and I miss Bolo Young.
Yeah. Yep.
Scariest Chinese good ever.
Yeah.
But they were friends, by the way, in real life.
Yeah, they were. Yeah. Very much so.
All right, we're gonna mitigate this next time, folks.
Yeah, sir. I'm just literally I'm knocked. I'm zonked.
I'm surprised you wanted to do this. I was ready to go to sleep.
Same.
Anyway.
Well, it was still I think it still has a lot of good content. It does. No, it does. I think it does.
I know. No, we had a couple of zingers here and there.
Yeah.
All right. We got to work. We did not do Tree of Life any justice, so I don't think you can even title it Tree of Life. You got to title it some kind of intermediate thing,
Part 2.
Tree.
We can call it. There's Tree of Knowledge, and then what happened to in between that?
In between that, we're living in between that. Exile.
All right, so we could call it. It's not Gehenna, that's for sure. I'll figure something out.
Yeah, it's worse. This is worse than Gehenna.
Purgatory, no. I'll figure something out.
All right, man.
All right, sir. It's been real.
All right, to be continued.
All right.
Rebranded.
Laila Tov.
All
right. If we're doing an episode, what do you think
we
of just Truth Fanatics episode 1? That's it.
Truth Fanatics episode 1. We could do that.
Yeah, and that's it. And we could call it just.
I think we could do that just because I'm easygoing, but I'd rather continue and just kind of transition. Let's do a transition. Why don't we take transitioning away from the Sitra Achra?
I think that is one of the things we can do. What I'm saying is if it's going to be entitled Tree of Life, I think it's just a punch in the face to everybody who's watching. I mean, in a good way, to just call it literally Truth Fanatics episode 1, Tree of Life. So.
All right.
I don't know. I could be wrong. What do you think?
Hey, I'm easygoing. Let's do it. If you feel strongly, why not?
I feel like it's might be good. In the words of Larry David. Pretty good.
Pretty good, yeah.
See, I'm hijacking Sitra Achra language,
That's exactly what I was thinking today, by the way.
They hijacked us, we gotta hijack them. Fuck them.
I couldn't hear what you said.
I said they hijacked us, we have to hijack them back.
Exactly. I was thinking you asked either last conversation or previous to that. You said what can we do to fight the Sitra Achra? And I said, basically what we could do is to become even more genuine than we are now, and just completely, fight the lies with absolute truth.
Yeah.
In the best, basically as we see it. Basically just to. It doesn't mean that we're right. It doesn't mean that the way we see truth is the absoluteness truth. But at least we're not hiding.
No.
We're not being sitra achra in terms of ourselves. Like whatever is in our head is that's what it is.
We're not doing this typical Baal Teshuva nice shtick. That's not what we're doing.
No.
Because that doesn't do anybody any good. I mean, like, it's just good guys talking about Torah. I guess it's nice, whatever, but it doesn't help anybody. I've had people tell me that the people who do like stuff like that, they're like, they tell me, Tzvi, you don't need to focus on negative. You could just bring light to the world and cancel out the darkness. So that's what those people think they're doing. Just a bunch of words. What?
People can take a concept like that, right? Mm-hmm. And which is true, but then just make it into a bunch of words. Mm-hmm. So in fact, nullifying it. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. They take something like that concept, which is true and it works, but they just make it into a bunch of words. Yeah. And, like basically like making it impotent.
Yeah, it's mamish impotent. Yeah. Like, what do you mean by bring light? What, you're saying we don't bring light? What?
Don't curse and don't express any true actual feelings. Yeah. All the ones that we're told to suppress, all the really important ones. Suppress it, hide it, stuff it.
Yeah. And then what? And then one day, what happens is something happens, and then you explode. That's good. Yeah. Which is, I've seen that happen with these guys. By the way,
it's not even that. It's about. It's really primarily about their relationship with God.
Yeah, of course.
Are you really being honest with God? Is that really how you feel? Is that really what's inside your soul?
Exactly.
Or are you like? I don't think they can be real.
No.
Like basically, I don't think that unless you are, even if you're a wild animal, right, with the way you talk to God, right? Yeah. If it's real, it might have potential to become more refined with time.
Of course. Listen, my rabbi said that. He said Hashem just wants your emes. He doesn't want your frumkeit.
Right. Like you're not inside you're full of anger. You really are not grateful, right? Mm-hmm. And you have whatever that is, but you're going to put on a show as if you're a refined gentleman who is grateful. Yeah. Let's pretend time.
Yeah. All the while thinking that Hashem doesn't know the truth. Yeah, Hashem knows the truth. You can't hide it from him. It's stupid, I apologize about the noise. I'm just opening up sushi because I'm starving. I haven't eaten anything all day. Are you there, sir?
I'm here. I don't know how to react to that.
I just wanted to know that it's actually not Ching Chang Chong. If anything, it's Japanese. It's more Mr. Miyagi.
Yeah.
Dude, there was a comedian in Comedy Cellar who used to imitate. He's like, "This is my." He comes on stage and he goes, "This is my imitation." Oh, you know who it was? It was that guy Khud. The Iranian comic Khud, which means the front of your car. He used to say, "It's Persian for the front of your car."
I think I know what you're talking about. He's like that one Persian. He's like the token Persian guy and everything.
No, because this guy, I looked him up. I found him somehow. He didn't continue in comedy. He was very funny. I saw him a bunch of times in Comedy Cellar. He didn't continue in comedy. He went back to working as an analyst on Wall Street. I think his parents basically harassed him. They probably told him, "You want to be a clown?"
They probably said to him,
"Yeah,
you tell joke. Women don't like joke."
Exactly. Women like money. They don't like joke. So.
Yeah.
No, he was very funny. He had a whole thing of how he got stopped by a cop, and we're in Virginia. He's like, "I'm from Virginia. We moved to Virginia," and he's like, "I got stopped by a cop, and he's trying to read my name on my license." He's like, and then he just goes, "Your name is Hood, goddamn foreigner." Oh, because his last name is Coleman or Comey or something like that, you know?
Yeah.
And he's like, hood call, goddamn foreigner.
That's hilarious.
Dude, the guy?
If I was him, and the cop, someone actually said that to me, I would be happy. Because
Dude.
it's funny.
Dude, you know what this guy did on stage? He would pull up his shirt, and he said, "You know what I did on a flight once? Bismillah Rahman Rahim," and he pulls up a shirt and it's like a fake bomb. Dude, people were dying. This is like 20 years ago. People were cracking up. I don't know how it would go over today.
It probably wouldn't go over very well.
Yeah. So what did I want to say? He had a whole thing where he used to come out and used to say, what was it? Because what was I talking about? What did he used to say? Oh my God. I'm losing my mind. I'm being zapped. I started about Japanese people. And then I said, and I wanted to say something, and then I was trying to say that it was this guy who said it, and then I forgot what I was going to say. This is what's happening.
Yeah, man.
Dude, he was hilarious though. He was like, the front of your car.
Well, how do you spell his name?
I forgot how to spell his last name. You know what I did? I found him by Googling the Iranian comic Hood, and then it took me to a article about him in the New York Times. You know, in like the Metro section or whatever. And then I think I saw his last name there, and then I Googled him, and I found him on LinkedIn as like a Merrill Lynch guy or something like that. And it was him. I recognized him. But
I just want to see his face. I just want to know.
He's like a short, kind of like typical, you know, what you would imagine like a Persian. Here, Iranian comedy seller, Hood. Here.
Oh, you know what I was thinking?
His name is Hood Qaim Makami. Here.
I was thinking Hayim Makami. That's a tragic name.
This guy.
I was thinking of Omid Jalili. That's the guy that everybody.
No.
That's the famous Persian. You know.
Let me read to you the article about this guy. This is September 11th, 2002 article in the Los Angeles Times, not New York Times.
Yeah. Who's Hayim Makami?
Yeah, because he used to say that the guy used to pronounce his name Gamagami.
Yeah, Kamakami.
Yeah.
Goddamn Kami.
Yeah. So he's like Hood Kamakami, Qaim Makami.
That's crazy. It says Hood Makami 33.
Yeah.
There's that number again.
In 2002. So I guess he's in his 50s now. Was on his way.
No, that doesn't matter. It's just like the fact that it shows itself to us.
Yeah. So get this. He's like, was at his job on September 11th at Lehman Brothers on the 40th floor of the North Tower. That day's devastation shook up his night job as well. He was one of the nation's few active Middle Eastern comedians, mocking stereotypes by playing Hood the terrorist, complete with a belt of fake explosives. One club canceled his appearances after the attacks, and even when he did perform, he took the stage without his favorite prop. Dude, it was hilarious. It's like, God.
You know, another tragedy.
Oh.
Another casualty of the goddamn terrorists.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
They are the enemies of life. They are the enemies of comedy.
Yeah.
They took a brilliant, comedic idea away from the world.
Yeah.
Yamach Shemov is different for that.
Yeah. So listen, the native of Iran who grew up in Encino, California, studied economic development at Harvard and MIT, still has his day job a year later, except that the Lehman offices now are in New Jersey. And his comedy act, whereas he used to wear a gray t-shirt with faint lettering saying Sand Monkey, his stage uniform now has a new message. It wasn't me. But the explosive belt is back. I remember he brought back the belt. Because that was even funnier after 9/11. That's the whole hop, you know? There's a true story I use now in my act. I was at the grocery store on July 4th of this year. With all the increased tension, people thinking something's going to happen. I was looking for a steak, and a white guy I've never met says, "Happy 4th of July, how long have you been in this country?" The true ending is I didn't want to be confrontational, but wanted to teach him something about diversity, so I lied and said I was born here. He said, I'm not making this, and I'm not making this up. Good, that's the way it should be.
Wow, maybe he's right.
In the act now, I talk about what I might have said. How long? 7 weeks. I'm here from Iraq for flight school. Some parts boring like landing. But I tell the audience I chickened out and that I actually lied to him. You know, dude, I'm a Latino. And just to make the point, I went and stole his car, and the audience buys it. I get nervous laughter. Yeah. Dude, in New York, he used to get like roaring laughter. In Comedy Cellar, he's roaring. I do this new joke about profiling and how I've gotten comfortable with it. If I get on a plane and I see an Arab man on the plane, that doesn't scare me. But if there's 5 Arab men and they're all winking at each other, then I'm thinking, gay Arabs. Dude, this guy, I don't know. I have to track him down and like ask him, why did you quit, bro? Like, stupid. Since September 11th, there's a small group of 3 or 4 Middle Eastern comics coming out of the woodwork trying to play off what happened. I joke about it on stage. A guy out in LA put together a show with a Jewish comic playing up how difficult it's been. So I joke about doing benefits where it's an Arab and a Jew. I say other people look at me performing at a synagogue as not really doing any good in the world. I look at it as reconnaissance. As much as there is an agenda to this, it's to humanize us. But there's no active proselytizing in the act. No active message of we're humans, treat us the same. That would be like, let's all snuggle up with kittens. I don't do anything on stage that doesn't have a punchline. Dude, it's very sad. I don't know why this guy, like, I don't understand. I really don't understand. Here's another article.
You know my unfavorite comedian, right? The bitter Italian unfavorite comedian.
Mm-hmm. No.
He did a bit. I can't remember exactly how it went, but it was like he goes, folks, there's a reason why these guys are so bad. It's a horrible place that they live in. They're not allowed to have comedy. They can't laugh. There's a reason why. They can't be like you can't make any jokes about anything, and nobody has a sense of humor. There's a reason why I'm not headlining at Kabooms in downtown Mecca. Kabooms.
Dude, here's another article in LA Times about oh man, I have to stupid. See, this is Citrafa. They want me to pay. Pardon my language. I'm not paying for anything.
Jew.
I'm not paying for anything.
You cheap Jew.
Anyway.
Cheap Jew.
Yeah, so this guy.
You hook-nosed Jew bastard.
1 second. 1 second. I want to now find. See, I want to see what this guy, where he is now. This guy. Hood Kaim Akani. See, the thing is, he uses a different spelling. On it. Oh, there you go.
He should have. If you wanted to be funny, you should be commie, like straight up.
Yeah.
That would have gangster.
Dude, this is him. He works for BNY, Bank of New York Mellon in Montclair, New Jersey. It's so sad. Divisional CIO, chief data architect. Seriously, it's so sad.
That must be agony.
Oh God, he's been doing it before that. He was managing director at J.P. Morgan, and before that, he was Mobile. Bank of America, mobile development. Then, dude, he worked at DTCC. Probably my dad worked there. That's interesting. As a architect for big data initiatives, Barclays Investment Bank. Oh, this is like when Lehman closed and Barclays bought them. Dude, he was at Lehman for like 8 years while he was a comedian until Lehman closed. Dude, he went to MIT and UPenn. Wow, this guy's a genius, man. No wonder his parents were like, "Yo, what are you doing as a clown?" His mom is a genius. Like,
yeah, but he probably hates his life.
I don't know if he hates his life. I mean, probably thinking, "Man, I should have stuck with the comedy." You know?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. He's like, "Yeah, see, AmericanBanker.com, American Banker Conferences." The Real Hoodie Medium. Oh, this is his blog. Oh man, this is so lame. There's no trace of like his comedy if you Google him. Terrible. This is terrible. Oh, IMDb. Here you go. There's an IMDb. He was on 2020.
Dude, can you chew a little louder?
Sorry, I apologize.
No. Chew louder.
Why?
It's not disgusting enough.
I'm sorry. This is terrible. He's on Twitter. Oh, he tweeted for BNY Mellon. I don't know, I'm so disappointed. This guy was the shit. Pardon my language, he has a YouTube. Let's see if there's anything funny on there. Nothing. Zero. Terrible. This is terrible. This is like finding out that like, imagine like Louis C.K., you find out he works at Goldman Sachs. Like, what?
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me somehow.
I want to visit him. He lives in Montclair. I just want to like show up at his house. You know, like what Stewie Griffin did to Will Ferrell. Like go up on a ladder and punch him in the face.
Yeah.
I just want to do that. Like, dude, seriously? You quit comedy to do this? I don't know.
Yeah, man.
Anyway. So.
I'm kind of in a foul mood. So
foul?
That might
foul
be why
as in,
I'm not.
Foul as in chicken?
I'm not foul as in. No, as in like foul.
What put you in the foul mood?
I'd rather not say, but I'll say, without getting specific. But I'll just say that it's just another day of God
not sending
leaving me behind, leaving us behind.
I hear.
Damn day.
I know. Believe me, I know. Listen, man, I told you. I was at a shiva of our friend's Abba, and my friend was there. I see this guy once every 3 months, but we're very, we're on the same wavelength. He's one of the people, he like listens to Rav Anava and stuff like that. And he goes to me, I told you, he's like, he was waiting for something to happen on Pesach, just like you were. And I was as well. And he's very disappointed.
Yeah, but the disappointment is mounting every day.
Yeah.
And so, like basically it's not like I can't even escape from it.
Yeah.
like I was able to before, just distract myself with with bullshit, with like music, like working out, just comedy, porn, whatever.
Yeah.
None of it. I know that none of that is effective anymore.
Yeah. I hear.
So wait around like a fool, waiting for him to show up.
Yeah.
And what else? There's nothing else to do.
It's absurd. Yeah.
It doesn't mean that when I say wait around like a fool, it doesn't mean like I'm literally sitting, but I just know that all the crap that I'm doing is basically, I don't know. You know what I mean? It's like I'll do it like I'm functional.
Listen, man, you have to remember that at the end of the day, the Jewish idea with all of this is you have to just until that moment comes, we have to just do our best to like, if the Rebbe was talking about bringing, quote unquote, bringing Mashiach, one of the things is that you're, and I know what you're going to say in response to this, but I'm going to say this anyway. One of the things is to make the world fertile, I guess, a fertile ground for Mashiach. And you're going to say, well, Mashiach himself will going to make that fertile ground, right? Is that what you're going to say?
No.
Okay.
That's not what I'm going to say.
But I feel like, if the Rebbe was saying bring Mashiach, one of the things is that we're supposed to, so to speak, we are supposed to emulate Mashiach's attributes as much as we can. And that is the thing, I think, I could be wrong. That's the thing that's going to, so to speak, occupy us with something that isn't complete shtuyot and complete distraction, as you say. Because it is, most of it is, like you said, if we're not, it's like yeah. I was
just
gonna say,
respond. So
what's up?
Basically, what the Rebbe. You talking to me?
Yeah. Sorry, I was just gonna say something, and I see you're like you want to say something. So yeah.
I was just going to say that the Rebbe also said that all the preparation and work has already been done as well. So the ground is plenty fertile and has been for a long time already.
Okay.
And it's also absolutely incomprehensible that he hasn't showed up. And the Rebbe said that about 30 years ago already.
So here's my question.
So it's really his fault. What I mean is, if you're looking for who's to blame, look no further than God.
So my question is like this. Fine, even with all that said, if the Rebbe was like physically in front of us, and we told him all of this, what would he tell us? What would he tell us to do? What would he say? What would he say? Here's what I think. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Just like like if you're in a situation where your job is to try to make peace, right?
Okay.
And to keep, so let's say you have you're trying to make peace between a child and his parent.
Yeah.
Right? So you're not going to encourage any indulgence in the complaints that anyone has, not because they're not valid, but because they're not going to be helpful in the situation. You're trying to create peace. Yeah. That's what I think the Rebbe would do. He wouldn't focus on the legitimacy of the complaint.
Yeah.
He would focus on, like diverting it.
So how does that help? That doesn't help anybody anything.
Well, I don't know. It's no, it does help.
Okay.
It helps to keep the. How does it help?
Like when you say diverting it, what is he going to do? He's just going to like divert us away from our gripe against the Shem?
Not divert. It's just sort of like, I've been in situations where, in my family, my extended family, where the parents were very angry at one of my cousins, who was, and very, very legitimate, he was, legitimate anger because he did not good things. Yeah. Okay? Yeah. But their entire relationship consisted of them just telling him or yelling at him and never letting him forget what a piece of garbage he is. And
it's a very Russian thing.
It's me reminding them, like, okay, you might be right. You have you have your right to be angry, and everything you're saying is true. But that is your son, right? That is your son. That's your son. And what do you think? Like, have you given up on him? Like, you've decided that there's nothing that can be done. Yeah. So the only thing left to do is to call him a piece of shit until he dies, right? Is that what you're trying? Is that what you decided to do? Isn't that your son?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Like so that that kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that type of position.
So you're saying that the Rebbe would tell us, like, he basically would calm us down and say, listen, at the end of the day, it's a Shem. Or is that what he would say?
For me, it's more like the other way around. Hopefully,
He would tell Hashem at the end of the day, it's these are
your children, and and maybe just come. I mean, you gotta you promise to do it for your own sake anyway, right? Just because for the to keep the honor of your name, because you promised and all that all that kind of stuff. So. I know that there's technically time left, moments here and there left on this supposed schedule that we're on.
Yeah.
Okay. I know there's a couple of minutes here and there, but each second to me is too much already.
No.
Not because I'm trying to feign some kind of, like longing for God, even though I do understand that everything is going to suck until he shows up. I understand that I understand, God, that you're the missing ingredient. Yeah. I get that. I know that for a long time already.
Yeah.
Okay? But for some people, they have a couple of months, a couple of years. I don't have that anymore.
Yeah.
Okay? People talk about Holocaust Day, right?
Yeah. Yeah, Shoah, Yom HaShoah.
right? It's also just on a side note, Yeshua's your side.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know.
Yeah, I didn't want to. I just wanted to. We can get back to that another time. But I'm just saying that it's Holocaust Day, right?
Yeah.
And it's Holocaust Day every day.
Yeah.
Because he keeps holocausting us.
Yeah.
It never stopped.
Yeah.
Right? Not only is there another worldwide Holocaust going on again, but on an individual level too. You know, if you have your loved ones, if your loved ones are being taken away, that's a Holocaust, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, of course.
All
it's
right,
a mini Holocaust, too.
The Holocaust, maybe he could stop Holocausting us for a little bit.
Yeah. Listen, you saw my rogues today, right? What I talked about, Yom HaShoah.
I saw part of it. I couldn't finish.
The general idea is that if it's the year, let's say, imagine it's the year 1930, right? And my name is Herschel, and I live in Poland.
Oh yeah, I heard that part.
You heard that part, right?
You become the town Meshuggah. Like, don't you have something better to do? Why don't you go? Sell your wine.
Yeah, and I come to people and I tell them, there's this guy, Schmittler in Germany. He wrote a book called Mein Kampf, whenever he wrote it, 1925. And there's another guy, Goebbels, and there's a few other guys, and they have these ideas. And I tell people, these guys want to kill all Jews. They want to kill all the Jews, all of them. Either they want to expel us, and if they can't expel us, they're going to kill us. And if I come to them, and the people are going to say, Harshada, don't you have a job? Don't you have a business? You have wine to sell. You have the shidduch. You need to get a shidduch. You need to get a parnasa. You have a life. Live a life. And like that I would be the town crazy. And it's 1930, right? And they would tell me like, oh, who are you? These crazy guys? Oh, they wrote a book. It's stupid ideas. Who's gonna do this? Kill all the Jews? What's wrong with you? Look at Germany. Look at this. These guys are not in power. Look how Germany historically is. Whatever. How they treated us. Poland is historically this. What is it? The King Casimir's, whatever his name was. He's good to us. What are you talking about? What killed all the Jews? What's wrong with you?
You know what this reminds me of?
What?
Can I tell you?
No.
There's two cartoons, these two ideas that it reminds me of. One of these cartoons, I can't remember, but the idea was, you go to the Galapagos Islands or something like that, and it's full of these, these species of animals that are so poorly suited to live that you can't keep them alive.
Yeah.
They're they love to die. Yeah. They just love to I don't know. The cartoon was there's some guy. He was trying to save them. Yeah. It wasn't a guy. It could have been an animal character, like a Bugs Bunny or something. And he tried to save them, but then it's like they'll go and literally lie down in a lion's mouth or something like that. You leave them alone for 2 seconds. And they're not trying to commit suicide. They're just too dumb to live.
Yeah.
You try to keep them alive. He's struggling. Yeah. So the other one that reminds me, there's a lot of these type of themes in Looney Tunes, but there's this one called it was like Bugs Bunny with a little penguin character called Playboy.
Yeah.
All right. He was a penguin born in captivity, and he did this ice capades act. Huh. And then one day the act closed down, and whoever was running the show, they just left him behind.
Yeah.
And he starts crying, and then he's walking around, doesn't know what to do, and he falls into Bugs Bunny's rabbit hole while he's sleeping.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Oh, what's this?" But Playboy can't talk, so he's like, he takes out like a paper. And he says, "I need to go home."
Yeah.
And he goes, "Where?" And he goes, "You got to take me home." And he's like, "Where do you live?" He goes, "Where do penguins live?" So he takes out his encyclopedia, right, from his rabbit hole.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Penguins live in Antarctica."
Yeah.
He goes, "Antarctica." He's like, "Oh, I'm dying," because he promised to get him home, right?
Yeah.
So then one of the best cartoons ever, by the way. Mm-hmm. So the whole cartoon is their adventure getting from Brooklyn to Antarctica. They have to pass through all this kind of stuff. The whole time, he's struggling to keep him alive the whole time.
It's hilarious.
And then for some reason, there's a theme in where Humphrey Bogart makes multiple appearances in that cartoon, where they're stuck on some desert island, And then starving, and Humphrey Bogart comes out and says, "Excuse me, friend, could you spare a dime for a fellow American who's down on his luck?" So he's like, so then Bugs Bunny, he pulls out a dime, he throws him, he goes, "Hit the road."
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just a side point, but that's what it feels like with Jewish people. But really, at this point, almost everyone in the world.
Dude, it's and then today you can come and you say it's the same thing. You tell them there's a guy, Yuval Noah Harari.
I don't agree with you on that.
On what?
Let me ask you.
That people are not paying attention, or what?
I'm going to give you. I want to give you a chance to respond to this.
Okay.
My question is like this: if Yuval Noah Harari was not in the picture, let's say, right?
Yeah.
Would Klaus Schwab be doing anything different?
No, he would not be.
Okay, so that's exactly my point. Everybody wants to take this Yuval Harari schmuck, right?
No, but it's not about Harari. I know, but that's the point. It's not about.
He's on the spectrum, but on the high level.
I know.
Okay,
but it's not about him.
He's a gay moron. Okay. And then all of a sudden he's the mastermind.
Listen,
so
it's not.
He contributed to the situation?
No, dude. It's not about the fact that it's him. It's about the fact that even idiotic ideas, someone can attempt to carry them out, and they are very, very they can be very dangerous. If it wasn't going to be Harari, it was going to be just Schwab himself or whatever it is,
No, that's what I'm saying. The
fact that you're right.
It's telling that Schwab was talking about doing this stuff way before Harari was even born.
Sure.
Okay, and he would have been doing it regardless of her. So why is Harari in the picture? Why? What? Because he says, look at the Jew.
Yeah, you need a fall guy. You need a what's it called?
All right, I'm fed up with it.
I hear what you're saying, man.
This is like with Harari. This is like is like mental patient abuse.
The point is not about Harari. The point is about you're right. The point is about the fact that there's somebody going to get hurt real bad. No, somebody with a stupid idea just because. When people tell me, "Oh yeah, that guy he has a stupid idea," just because he has a stupid idea doesn't mean he's not going to try to carry it out. It doesn't mean he's not going to. That idea is not going to kill a bunch of people, which it can and it will, or it could. I hope it doesn't. So that's all it is, Again, probably to people hearing when they first heard. What is it called? When they first heard about the Mein Kampf ideas, they also thought, "Oh, that's stupid, man." Or it's implausible. But then, today, everybody's like, 6 million. Dude, when you hear, if you heard that somebody's going to kill 6 million Jews, if you heard that in the 30s, you'd be like, what are you talking about, dude? What are you smoking? Can you give me what you're smoking? So now, the only reason you think that it can happen again, like 6 million, Chas v'Shalom, can be killed again, is because you already have proof of concept. You saw it already. You saw it happen, right? But what you haven't seen is 7 billion. That you've never seen. Right? You haven't.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason you cannot imagine it. Not you, but people can't imagine it. You and I can.
I can't imagine it either. I can.
You don't want to imagine it, but you can imagine how that could happen. You understand?
I could see it. I could see it purely intellectually. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We're not. How should I put this? You and I, Frank and Tzvi, are not averse to looking directly at the sun when it comes to this issue. Most people on planet Earth don't want to look at the sun. They don't want to look into the eye of the beast when it comes to this. They don't even want to think about the possibility of that. That's why they say it's just absurd. What you're saying is absurd. My mom says это чушь собачья, то, что ты говоришь. She tells me that to my face. And then she admitted to me the next day, she was like, it's not that I don't believe it, I just don't want to think about it. She admitted it to me. I'm like, okay, that's admirable, I guess. You're making progress.
You know why it's harder for her than for you?
Because she
has kids.
She has kids. She already went through KGB. She already went through this and that. Зачем еще думать about? She even told me, she's like, okay, let's assume you're right. What do you suggest we do? I said, well, don't do anything. That would be the point. Don't take the poison, like your brother says. How about that?
Yeah, at this point, that's all it takes.
At this point, is do nothing.
It's like you don't have. It's like at this point, it's not like you got to get up and take Krav Maga for like 9 months.
No.
And go to the shooting range all day.
Yeah, you don't have to be a
It's
partisan and fight.
All you got to do is just not take a shot.
Yeah, you don't have to be the Belsky brothers in the forest, and I don't know. I mean, hopefully, it won't come to that.
Dude, I was shocked that the Belsky brothers lived for like more than half their lives on Neck Road.
That's crazy.
Right, a couple blocks away from my house.
Yeah. I remember there was that whole frenzy about them when I went to Rage, to learn, and then they had us watch the movie, and then they had like the director come. We went to like it was like a thing in Jersey, a premiere. It's pretty interesting. But yeah, man, you don't have to be them. Just don't comply with these people. I don't know. It's just, it's like, again, it's like you're watching a movie, you can see what the villain is doing, and you're yelling at the screen, and no one can hear you. The characters cannot hear you, So what can you do?
Yeah, that's who we are. We're the black dude at the movie theater, at the horror movie.
Hey, motherfucker!
Don't go in that room.
Don't
bitch.
go over there. The black dude,
Stupid, why you take a shower now?
He's like, stupid white bitch. What are you doing?
Why that white girl taking a shower? It's dangerous.
Who was it that I don't know? There's a comedian that like.
Dude, my inner voice is a black guy who gets to say whatever he wants.
Oh, that's hilarious.
No, I'm sorry. It's a black lady who gets to say whatever she wants.
That's absolutely hilarious. When did I tell you? A long time ago. And what did I say what happened? Exactly what just happened.
That's right.
You're like a black woman in hindsight.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, man.
I hear you, man. Listen, what can you do?
But not even like a real black lady, like a TV black lady.
Yes.
Like the real ones are
Yeah, the real ones are just... The real ones...
Some of them are, but not,
The real ones...
disappointingly few of them.
The real ones are like working at TD Bank customer service when you call them on the phone. Hi, my name is so-and-so, and they're like somewhere in Mississippi. Very nice ladies, very, very, very knowledgeable, helpful people.
You know who's, I'm not going to say like that, but you know who I always liked? Who was like, she's beautiful black woman, but she's a comedian.
Yeah.
But she sounds like she grew up in the Valley.
Okay.
Her name is Aisha Tyler. You know what I'm talking about?
Let me look. It sounds.
She was in Balls of Fury.
Hold on a second. Aisha Tyler. Oh, this one. Oh, this one. I know her. Yeah. She's cool.
I love her. She's hilarious, but she sounds like she's from the Valley. She's like, oh my God.
Yeah. Well, because I think she is. She's from San Francisco, California. That's why. That's why she sounds like that. She's not from Oakland. She's from San Francisco, and she went to dude. She went to Dartmouth. Like, what do you want?
To quote Dave Chappelle, "Welcome to Oakland, bitch." Click.
Exactly. Click. Dude, she went to Dartmouth, and her ex-husband is white, really, really, really white. So she might as well be like a white.
Right. No, she's like, personality-wise, like.
Dude,
super.
she played. She played. You know who she played? She played the girlfriend of what's it called?
Archer.
She played in Friends. She played the girlfriend of. Did she play in Friends? Yeah, she played Dr. Charlie Wheeler. She played.
Probably Joey.
Joey's girl. I think Joey's girlfriend. Yeah, I think either Joey's or what's her Chandler's girlfriend. Yeah.
No, the other two are like too.
Yeah.
Like feminine for her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah.
Joey was the only like normal guy in that whole show.
Yeah.
As far as I could concerned.
Yeah. Yeah, she played Dr. Charlie. I thought she was
He's
like
the only recognizable dude.
I thought she was like, wow, hello. Yeah, here you go.
No, she's a beautiful lady.
She's a paleontology professor who first appears on The One with the Soap. I think she played she ends up with Ross. Oh no, she strikes up a relationship with Joey, but ends up with Ross because they have more in common. Yeah, because Ross is also a professor.
Oh yeah, that's right. He was also a paleontologist, right?
Or he was like archaeologist, whatever, one of these anthropologists.
Archaeologist.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's weird. He spends a lot of time in New York to be an archaeologist.
No, whatever, museums and stuff, whatever.
All right. So she was
Yeah.
she played in not played. She's a voice actor in Archer. Archer's like successful cartoon that's been going on for a while. So that's probably where most people know her from.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how we got into it. Besides the fact that she's a pretty pretty lady.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because she's black and she sounds white. That's why.
Yeah, she's one of these chicks. She's like kind of grew up around white people kind of deal. No, really, she's like if Candace Owens went full white girl.
No, Candace Owens is like black.
I know she is. I'm saying if Candace Owens went full white girl to be this girl.
I mean, like personality wise, she's not like like she's just she's a regular black American. But Aisha Tyler sounds like she's from the Valley. That's what makes her stand out. Yeah, she sounds like she's like the real life Hillary from The Fresh Prince.
Yeah. No, but she is from the Valley, Mamish. So yeah, makes sense. That's funny.
Man, I love Hillary. We talked about this.
Oh, the actress? We don't have to get into it. Daddy, can I have $300? I used to be like...
So hard.
I used to be like... There are people like this? I'm like, there's like girls that come up to like their dad and be like, Daddy, can I have $300?
I was like, Will Smith has a hot Jewish cousin. Like, what's going on here?
Yeah. That's fun. That's hilarious. Yeah, because she kind of had that Jewish look.
She looked and acted Jewish. Hilarious.
Yeah. She's like she's what's called a BAP, Black American Princess. Remember that movie Baps?
Yeah.
Who was in it?
I know that Halle Berry was. I didn't watch it, but I remember it.
Here.
Halle Berry was one of the Baps.
Baps. Let's see. American female buddy comedy. Halle Berry, Natalie Desselle. I don't know who that is, and Martin Landau. What the hell?
Martin Landau, what?
Yeah, he played
The hell? That's weird.
He played. Yeah, here you go. Oh my God, this movie got like it lost money. Yeah, it had celebrity cameos including LL Cool J, Leon Robinson, Heavy D, and Dennis Rodman. The cat. Here you go.
That's because of systemic racism.
Yeah. Here, Martin Landau played a character, and here.
So racist, even black people didn't want to see it.
Yes. Faison Love. Remember this guy? Faison Love?
Remember Soul Plane? How did Soul Plane do?
I remember Soul Plane, but I don't think I even saw it. Or maybe I saw parts
of it. I didn't see it. I was just wondering, how did it do?
Oh, Soul Plane. They made... they also lost money. They spent $16 million, and they made 15. Terrible. MGM Studios made 20th Century Fox made this movie.
I just remember Snoop Dogg was in that movie.
Kevin Hart, Tom Arnold, Method Man, Snoop Dogg. Oh my God! It's just like here, cast. Here you go. Kevin Hart, Snoop Dogg, Tom Arnold, Method Man, K.D. Aubert.
Kevin Hart was that long ago.
Yeah, man.
He's been around that long.
Yeah,
Godfrey. Like 30 years ago.
Yeah, no, they're like 20. Godfrey was in it. Who else? Monique was in it. Sofia Vergara was in it.
I love Monique, by the way.
She's awesome. Yeah.
You know why? Because of Beer Fest.
Beer Fest, and also Monique. She has this whole machloket with Oprah. I think Oprah. Not with Oprah. With that guy, that freaking the guy that does Medea. You know the. Whatever, he dressed up like a woman.
Tyler Perry.
Tyler Perry. So she has a whole machloket with Tyler Perry. He like screwed her. D.L. Hughley was in Soul Plane. John Witherspoon was in Soul Plane, a blessed memory. Terry Crews was in Soul Plane. Lil Jon, is in Soul Plane. Yin Yang Twins. Karl Malone, basketball player, was in Soul Plane. Yo. Yeah, so Monique has a whole thing with this Tyler Perry guy. She won an Oscar, or she got nominated or won?
For Precious, right?
Precious, yeah. I think did she win? Hold on, awards.
I don't need. I didn't watch Precious because
she won.
The camera work.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like that camera style reminded me of like kids, and it also
the
reminded
shaky,
me of like
the shaky.
some scenes from what is it? That damn movie. Requiem for a Dream. I'm like, I don't need to go through this.
Yeah, it's a shaky drama stuff.
I don't need to be massively depressed for like years.
It's just kind of the
movie,
the cinematography. Yeah, dude, she won. Like, check this out. She won the NAACP Image Award for Outstanding Actress in a Comedy. Oh, okay, this is for some other thing for whatever. Oh, the Parkers. Remember that show, The Parkers?
No.
She won that. Whatever, it was like a family. Monique, she won. Yeah, and then she won an Oscar for she played the mom in Precious. Yeah, she won an Oscar. She won a Golden Globe. She won a BAFTA. She won African American. She won a BT Award. She won a Black Reel Award. She won a Boston Society of Film. Dude, she won like a bazillions awards just from that one role of playing the mom, the evil mom. Or the crazy mom, whatever. Yo, man, that's like crazy. Like, they find a girl like that to play that character, and then they get Monique, of all people, to be the mom. Like a comedian. Dude, just goes to show comedians are like people who have...
bunch of miserable bastards.
Not even miserable. Like, they have... Comedians have stuff inside of them that is serious. That can tap into meaningful things more than people who are, let's say, not comedians. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I don't know why I can never imagine Ryan Reynolds playing in any serious role, and he's not a comedian. He's just a person who's only capable of playing funny people, which doesn't make him a comedian. It just makes him a clown. You know, I mean, he's a good clown. He's good at it.
A sad clown.
Yeah. If anything, he's a sad clown, kind of, sort of. But dude, comedians can play. Like, you see, like Jim Carrey can play. He's a comedian, but he can play like serious roles. And he has.
Right, but even his serious roles, he's playing goofy, like a goofy dude. You know what I mean?
It depends. Not always. I mean, like even
like
with
Truman was goofy.
Yeah,
and so was
but it has an element.
Andy Kaufman.
But the characters have serious sides and elements and dimensions. They're not always goofy.
I thought the Cable Guy was a scary, sad movie.
Yeah, right.
That wasn't funny. That wasn't like a great comedy.
It's like a weird horror movie.
It's really sad.
Yeah, it's sad and it's horror.
It was a sad movie about a lonely guy.
Yeah.
Why couldn't he just have a beer with him?
He just wants to go to medieval times. That's all he wants to do. You know?
Go to medieval times, have a beer with him.
Yeah, and he'll leave you alone. And give you a deal on cable. Like, well, what's wrong with you?
Yeah. Remember he's like he broke into Matthew Broderick's house but set him up with like cable, and then Matthew Broderick called me. He's like, "What is this?" He goes, "Well, I had to get it in here." "How'd you want me to get it in here?" "By osmosis." How was I supposed to get it in here? By osmosis?
Hilarious.
That was a funny line.
Huh. Yeah, man. So, like, you see that, like, people... Like, dude, you should watch the show, like, Louis C.K.'s show. There's Louis, but then there's another show called Horace and Pete on HBO. You should watch it. It's like two guys own a bar, or he owns a bar. And, obviously it's like, you have all these, real-life comedians that are on the show. They're like, the bar patrons sitting around.
Yeah.
But yet, like, you have some of these themes where it's like he says funny stuff, but he also has like very, very serious, even like dark, depressing, kind of family-related themes or moments. And you see the guy, like, again, like you see comedians who are like, it's a comedian, but he just can play this character in just like this dark ass way, So like,
why would I want to watch that? Why?
No, it's actually a very, very good show. It actually has like hilarious. First of all, it's like ridiculously politically incorrect, and they actually have a hilarious. Just Stephen Wright, he's in it. And
I love Stephen Wright. But
dude,
let me ask you. I just want to question you.
Yeah.
I'll give you a chance to
Yeah,
answer.
yeah.
Even though it's a good show, even though they act well,
Yeah.
and they can simulate moments of seriousness, of darkness, of depression,
Yeah.
and they can do, laughing.
Not just depression, but like meaning, just meaning. Let's say.
No, the question is.
Yeah.
So here's my question. Even though it's good, why? What good would it do for me to watch it?
I'll tell you why. Because ultimately, well, I'm assuming you appreciate stand-up comedy. There's a bunch of stand-up comedians sitting in a bar, and essentially what they're doing is, it's almost like, like Dr. Katz, professional therapist, but it's a bunch of them, and they're giving essentially over their material, but they're like riffing off of each other. And the funniest part is that like Stephen Wright is sitting in the corner, and every once in a while he says one of his things that like relate to what these guys are talking about, but then it doesn't relate at all. It's like hilarious. It's just, I don't know, you gotta like see at least one or two episodes, and like Stephen Wright is a riot. He's just like literally sitting in the corner, and like he'll be like sitting there, and then they're talking about like, I don't know, some guy's talking about his car and like, I need to fix my car, and then Stephen Wright will be, I'm just like paraphrasing, I'm making this up. He'll be like, I once ran my car into a wall. Like that kind of shit, like it's like
right,
it's
right.
like
You know what?
It's like the topic, but it has nothing to do with what they're talking about,
Hold that thought.
The object, rather.
Hold that thought.
Yeah.
I gotta pee, and then I'm gonna return and respond to you.
All right, sir.
How about that? All right. So here's my response. It came to me during the pee.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So, as many things do. Mm-hmm. So basically, when you meet up, let's say with a group of wise guys, right? And I love doing that. Okay. I'm going there because, and most of the guys that are there are going there because we're trying to escape our trials and tribulations, right? And we want to go hang out with a bunch of guys who are sitting at the edge of the precipice of doom, right? Literally, they're just sitting there right at the edge, staring down at doom, right?
Yeah.
And they're making jokes about it, guys who are sitting in the trenches, right? And like literally riffing as as the bombs are falling all around them, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, excuse me. All right. Yeah. Guys who would go, who would walk straight up to, there's just this, I use this expression from I can't remember what book this is from. It could be Moby Dick. It's like, the sea captain who would, who was so gritty, he would go straight up to the devil asking for a light.
Yeah.
Those kind of guys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And I don't want to watch shows like that, even if it does have comedians here and there.
Yeah. Because
for the same reason that Dave Chappelle doesn't want to smoke weed with black dudes.
Okay, what's the reason?
Because
for that?
every time I smoke weed with black dudes, he's like, listen, I'm not smoking. I smoke weed only with white people. And then everybody's like, scared. He's like, calm down, white people. You win by default. You got good weed conversation, right?
Yeah.
He's like, every time I smoke with black dudes, he goes, all I hear is nothing about their trials and tribulations. It's a waste of weed.
So these guys, I can just tell you this show, Horse and Pete, they're not sitting around always talking about the trials and tribulations.
I never want to hear it. Never,
Listen. A lot of it. I think the majority of it is not that. The majority of it is, I would say, just they're talking about like just random things. It's literally like a podcast in a bar, between like 4 or 5 guys. Louis C.K. is like the bartender or the owner, so he's kind of just listening to their thing. And then, who else is in it? What's her name? The one that played the wife, Tony Soprano's wife, the actress. I forget her name. She plays like the co-owner of the bar. But then, I don't know. To me, like, dude, Stephen Wright is hilarious in it. He's literally, he doesn't have any other, Stephen Wright never, I don't remember him in any other TV or movie thing. He may have been, I just don't remember him from them. But this is the only...
He was in he's the guy on the couch.
Yeah. What, in Half Baked?
And he was also the pilot.
Yeah.
In So I Married an Axe Murderer. Those are the 2 roles I remember him in.
So that's the thing. I don't remember him anything besides this. And this he's like very funny because he's just like literally he's like the guy at the end of the bar, just saying, a funny comment on the object of the topic, which has nothing to do with the topic. It only has to do with the object. Again, like they're talking about like, you know, politics or something, you know, about some like trivia about a president, and the president, you know, he had a dog, and he'll just say like, I had a Cocker Spaniel once and it peed on my rug. That kind of stuff, you know? And it's just like, I don't know, I love it, you know, like, it's, whatever.
I'm not going to watch it, but I like Stephen Wright.
I'm glad I convinced you, that's good, okay.
Yeah, not happening. Plus, I don't have HBO, and I'm not going to go out looking for it.
I hear. Listen, regarding Stephen Wright, you know that if it wasn't for Stephen Wright, if it wasn't for Stephen Wright, there would be no Mitch Hedberg. That we know.
Possibly.
Was there anybody before Stephen Wright who did that kind of stuff?
I can't. I mean, there's always someone. Even if they're like really obscure, someone who inspired Stephen Wright. But I mean, certainly he was the first like really big guy of that nature that I am aware of.
Yeah.
And I'm not aware of a lot of things, so that falls through right away.
Yeah. So man, we spoke about.
If at first you don't succeed,
yes,
then skydiving definitely isn't for you.
Exactly. That's one of his lines.
Everyone,
dude,
everywhere is within walking distance if you have the time.
Hilarious.
What's another word for thesaurus?
Here, I have Stephen Wright quotes. Whenever I think of the past, it brings back so many memories.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I bought some instant water one time, but I didn't know what to add to it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just like
I intended to live forever.
Yeah.
So far, so good.
Yeah. It's a small world, but I wouldn't want to have to paint it. Oh wow, that's actually great.
I kept a diary right after I was born. Day 1, tired from the move. Day 2, everyone thinks I'm an idiot.
Dude, this one is so fitting for me, the next one I'm going to say, because I actually did this when I was 3 in Odessa. There's a fine line between fishing and just standing on the shore like an idiot. Dude, I'm like 3 years old in Odessa, and I saw a guy with like, you know, he was fishing, but all I saw was the stick. I didn't know there was a line attached to it. So I grab a stick, and I'm standing next to the shore with a stick. Just waiting for a fish to, like, you know, like what's his name? Tom Hanks in like...
Fishing for schmucks.
No, in Castaway when he like spears the fish, but except I wasn't trying to spear it. I was just standing there like an idiot.
Yeah. How about this one? If you think nobody cares about you, try missing a couple of payments.
Yeah, that's right. That's it.
Right? Or I like this one. Why don't they make the whole plane out of that black box stuff? Right?
A lot of people are afraid of heights. Not me. I'm afraid of widths.
Wait, I'm afraid of what?
Width, like Shirina? So
widths.
Right. Widths, how wide something is. I went down the street to the 24-hour grocery. When I got there, the guy was locking the front door. I said, "Hey, the sign says you're open 24 hours. He said, "Yes, but not in a row." Terrible. I busted a mirror and got 7 years bad luck, but my lawyer thinks he can get me 5.
I bought some batteries, but they weren't included.
Exactly. That's like today. I went to a restaurant that serves breakfast at any time, so I ordered French toast during the Renaissance. Hilarious. God.
I live on a one-way street that's also a dead end. I'm not sure how I got there. That one's more deep than anything.
Yeah. If you're in a
But
spaceship...
he also said, if Barbie is so popular, why do you have to buy her friends?
Dude, that's like Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's brilliant, man. Holy shnikes. If you're in a spaceship that is traveling at the speed of light and you turn on the headlights, does anything happen? What the hell? I kept a diary. Okay, you read that one. I kept the diary. That's it.
I was a peripheral visionary. I could see the future, but only way off to the side.
Dude, that's one of his famous ones.
That's freaking brilliant.
That's actually incredible. Last night I stayed up late playing poker with tarot cards. I got a full house and 4 people died.
Yeah.
Right now I'm having amnesia and deja vu at the same time. I think I've forgotten this before. Whatever.
When I was a little kid, we had a sandbox.
Yeah.
It was a quick sandbox. I was an only child, eventually.
This one is actually amazing. Experience.
I tried to pull something like that the other day when my brother was kindly when he put that. You know, when he told his the truth followers, the truth social followers, to follow me.
Brilliant.
He's like follow my brilliant brother. I love him very much, right? Mm-hmm. So I tried to, I put in the comments. I'm like, I love him too, but I'm the dumb one that you don't like. You know, like I was trying to make it seem like there's multiple brothers and whatever.
Yeah. Experience is something you don't get until just after you need it, that's actually good advice. Yeah. It's freaking good advice. Incredible.
I was born when I was 23. I started telling jokes. Then I started going on television and doing films. That's still what I am doing. The end.
Yeah. You can't have everything. Where would you put it? That's amazing. Yeah. That's an amazing line.
Yeah. He goes, it's a small world, but I definitely wouldn't want to paint it.
Yeah.
I like George Carlin's jokes. I like his humor. He's one of my heroes. And I like what he did with talking about everyday things.
That's hilarious.
That's crazy.
That's hilarious.
You know, that's esoteric.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
love eating chocolate cake and ice cream after a show. I almost justify it in my mind as, you were a good boy on stage, and you did your show. So now you can have some cake and ice cream.
I put instant coffee in a microwave oven and almost went back in time.
Went back in time.
What the hell?
Yeah, I love it. I love
some of these
one.
are so like actually really like deep in a weird way. I think it's wrong that only one company makes the game Monopoly.
When I was crossing the border into Canada, they asked if I had any firearms with me. I said, well, what do you need?
Yeah. God.
The Bermuda Triangle got tired of warm weather. It moved to Alaska. Now Santa Claus is missing.
Oh my God.
It's crazy.
I have the world's largest collection of seashells. I keep it in all the beaches of the world. Perhaps you've seen it.
You know, that joke is very, very, very deep.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, can I, like, I've kind of, like, developed this metaphor, right, about certain types of people in different economic classes.
Yeah.
You have people who are poor, right?
Yeah.
And then you have people who are, like, middle class, and you got people who are rich.
Yeah.
And then you got trust fund level baby, money.
Yeah.
So what's the difference between all these people? So the poor guy, he has like ripped clothing, right? And, he has to shop at the Goodwill, right? And, then you have like the middle class guy, he's a little bit better. You got the rich guy who is very ambitious and he's always like trying to like, grow and improve stuff to himself and to everybody and try to be flashy. Mm-hmm. And then the next level, back up, it loops back around to the poor guy where trust fund baby guy looks just like the poor guy.
Yep.
The reason is he doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
He's so much money, he can afford to be like bumming around, sleeping on his friends' couches, asking them, to buy. Can you buy me a drink? I forgot. Meanwhile, he has like the Scrooge McDuck's money bank.
Dude,
You know what I mean? He just
you know that Elon Musk doesn't. Speaking of Elon Musk, he doesn't own a home. I don't think because he got divorced and there's nothing that he own like he doesn't own a property. So when he's in he said that when he's in California, you know, he calls different friends like start from the startup world to bum on their couch or bum on in their spare bedroom. He doesn't have nowhere to stay.
yeah. Right. Well, I mean, he's a special kind of weirdo, but I'm not talking about that kind of guy.
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
very ambitious.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the guys who have so much money, they've transcended they've transcended the wants of like every other man.
Yeah, of
and then
course.
there's another category that I wanted to like cap it off with.
Yeah.
There's a guy who is of a similar nature, but he's even higher up
Okay.
than trust fund baby.
Okay.
He's the guy who understands that God is his father.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm talking about human beings, all of us, all right?
Yes.
Black Christians.
Yeah.
Okay, so if God's your father, right, and that includes you Christians, God is also your father.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
you can have a direct relationship with him.
Yeah.
You don't need
Yep.
a go between.
Yep.
All right. So he's your father. So all of us are trust fund babies, aren't we?
Yeah.
Which means we don't have to worry about accumulating wealth to prove anything to anybody. We could be like the bummy trust fund baby, who's not worried about all the stuff. And that's that Stephen Wright joke kind of reminded me of that, because he goes, I have the world's biggest seashell collection. It's already there. You know, it's on all the beaches in the world. It's mine.
Yeah. Exactly.
Because the world is mine. Because God's my father. That's how I interpret what he's saying, even if he's not saying that consciously.
Yep. True.
It'd be nice if the father would show up and show us what the seashells are all about.
Oh yeah.
But that's a different topic.
When you said that, it reminded me of Demolition Man. You know, he didn't know what the seashells were about.
I still don't know what the seashells are about, and I don't want to know.
Me neither.
In that movie, I don't know.
It's probably very disgusting, more disgusting than we think.
You know what I was thinking? I was very, very, very curious about the seashells, and then I kind of like, I wasn't curious. It was like driving me nuts, right? Because I had thought that everybody else understood it.
Yeah.
You ever experienced that, where you think
Yes.
everybody else understands something? You know?
Yes.
So anyway, I think that I have a possible, candidate for how they're used, or explanation for how they're used. So back in the day, right? Like when we learned, like how did people when they went to the bathroom, they didn't have toilet paper. So what do they use? They use smooth river stones.
Could be.
So I mean, it seems like a similar idea.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. They just like laughed at him because he was the only one who didn't know what it was for, or how to use it.
I like how he got his toilet paper. That was pretty cool. That was creative.
Yeah. Oh, the murder, death, kill. Yeah.
No,
when he cursed,
cursing,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And then he would get those tickets printed out for him.
Yeah. It's hilarious. Dude, but that's scary, man. Like that movie, it made light of all these Orwellian things. Even the Orwellian.
The funny thing is, the point of that movie, right, is that if you let an Orwellian type of person run your world, and even if it gets to some point where it's really ideal and perfect, the fact that it relies on the whims of that leader that you all trust, right? What if he decides to, it's time to shake things up. I'm gonna have to release a murderer into a completely unprepared world, so I destroy this civilization and then build my next vision.
Yeah. It's time for everybody to eat Taco Bell in a gourmet restaurant, and to release a murderer. Who knows martial arts and you don't.
Right. So your utopia is hanging on the whims of a maniac, of one person, of a human being. That's the problem. That's the core. That's the kiss of death.
And that's why and that's why there's a problem with having Mr. Musk run Twitter.
That's or any one person.
But the thing is, I think there is a whole. There's going to be a board. It's not just going to be him autocratically. He's going to be working together with people doing. He's not an autocrat necessarily. He just bought Twitter, so that he can at least legally take it private and start revamping it.
Well, okay, as the majority shareholder, obviously the majority shareholder has a the most amount of influence and power that any individual
correct.
on the board does.
But he does have people that he takes on that he voluntarily wants to listen to them.
Right, but he doesn't have to.
He doesn't have to. No.
He can fire them, right?
Yeah.
So that's that. So it's not. I'm not like picking on Elon Musk directly. Just that concept
that idea
itself is automatically flawed unless you're Mashiach.
Correct.
Okay, because Mashiach, who's Mashiach? Mashiach is the guy who doesn't have a sense of himself.
Yeah, he's totally
Mashiach
little.
is the ultimate example of the human being that completely gets out of the way.
Yep.
Meaning, their personality, right? Like his ego, his personality, right?
Yeah.
He's like, he's a tzaddik. He's from Atzilut. He's one of those guys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't even want to have a personality. He just wants to get out of the way and let God, completely be nullified to God's will. Okay, so if you truly have someone that's truly like that, then all right, fine. Then that then good things they get out of the way and let God's will, come into the world. That's why that's actually one of the reasons why we need Mashiach.
Yep. Listen, with all that said, I think this guy's tenure will serve some sort of short-term purpose for whatever needs to happen in the world, like I told you yesterday.
Well, listen, for 2 days, my brother had free reign.
And you agreed with me, by the way, about the whole...
I did. I do. I still do. So for 2 days, there's hundreds of thousands of people who got information, or they either got reminded of information they haven't seen in a while, or there's brand new people who have seen information they've never seen before.
Yep.
All right. So that's what it was meant to do. Then fine.
Yeah. So tell me about the tree of life, my friend.
Well, that's what we're all waiting to eat from, right? So we can live forever.
And the question is, why did it have to be in the form of a tree?
So the word tree, how do you say tree in Hebrew? Eitz, right?
Eitz, yeah.
Eitz.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. I have this. 1 second. Let me grab this amazing resource, which I highly recommend everybody get.
Oh yeah, it is. It's okay.
Yeah.
Pre is fruit. Eitz, yeah.
The pre is the fruit. Eitz is the tree. So I have this. It's called the Etymological Dictionary of Biblical Hebrew, based on the commentaries of Rabbi Samson Raphael Hirsch, and it was it's put together by Matityahu Clark. Okay, and so let's look up. 1 second. Very interesting. Some of this is my own thoughts based on the following. Okay, so hold on. First, I'm going to tell you what the dictionary says, and then give me a moment. Just have to find it. Second. Okay. Come on, mate. There we go. All right. Okay. So we have a root, biblical Hebrew root. It's called an Eitzah. Not Eitzah, actually. It's Aleph Tzaddik Hey. It's not a word. It's a root. So there's a lot of Hebrew words that are based on this root. So Ayin Tzaddik Hey, and it means to concentrate energy to a goal. That's its primary meaning, and it's used in Mishlei, right, as a narrowing or a closing. And then you have another related root, okay, which is called. So one second. It is Ya'etz. Okay, Yud Aleph tzadi, and it means to deliberate. Hold on. Trust me, this is worth it, I believe. 1 second. Okay. Your eights. Okay, yeah. So, Yud, this is a root, Yud, Ayin, Tzadi. So it means deliberate and advise, right? So advise, like if you look at Psalm 32, verse 8, it says, Aitza alecho einai, right? So basically that it's used as advising, to advise, right? Or in other contexts, also in Psalms, it means deciding after taking counsel. And then it's a third usage of it, also in Psalms, is scheming. Okay?
Yeah.
And then hold on. So far, concentrating, deliberating, right? Working towards a goal, scheming, advising, thinking, coming up with ideas, taking counsel. Hold on. Okay. Hang on, there's just another root that we're going to look up right now. So now we're going to look up Ayin Vav Tzadi. That's another form of this root. Okay, 1 second. Okay, so Ayin, so this is, I would say, the primary one. Okay, so Ayin Tzadi root, the primary meaning is to force up, to concentrate effort to develop. Force up, concentrate effort to develop. So this is why a tree is called an eitz. Okay? Because what does a tree do? It forces its way up through the surface of the soil, right? It penetrates, busts through the soil.
Yeah.
It concentrates an effort and it develops into a tree. So this word, when we see a plant that we call a tree, right? This is a physical expression of something that exists in the higher worlds, okay? And the way that we can experience it is that if you can imagine your mind as a landscape, right?
Mm-hmm.
The arena where your thinking takes place, right? So when an idea begins to develop, right? It's like the tree budding, penetrating the soil, moving up into the air. That's how. So this word tree is really about the development of ideas.
Yeah.
From an early stage and working through developing the idea until it blossoms into a tree. So the trees in the Garden of Eden were a universe of ideas. So that should make it a little bit clearer now why we're dealing with trees. Okay? We're actually dealing with certain ideas. So God was telling us, you can indulge in all of these ideas except for this one. You're not ready yet to that one.
Mm-hmm.
Here in the middle, okay? And so that was the tree of the knowledge of good. Actually, here's the actual translation of that. What people call the tree of knowledge. It's the tree of the intimate mixing of good and evil.
Yeah.
Okay? So the word knowledge in Hebrew, right, it's also used as, I'm not going to say not as a euphemism, as an appellation for intimate relationships between man and woman. Right, to know in the biblical sense, right? Yeah. There's three different ways of knowing. Yeah. There's eating, right? You can know something by eating it. You can know something by being intimate with it, right? You can know something by looking at it or studying it, or thinking about it. Okay, there are three ways of knowing in Jewish, in Torah thought. Rabbi Bax talks about it a lot in his books. So that's what all these trees are. We're talking about trees all the time. We're talking about developed ideas.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, so the tree of life, right? There's something about the experience of eating from the tree of life, which creates a situation of eternal life. Okay? The reason why, Adam and Eve / us, why we were kicked out of the, quote unquote, the garden, right? Was because we ate from the quote unquote tree of, the evil tree, whatever. Okay, and we put a defect in our consciousness. Okay, and if we eat from the tree of life with this defect, this is the idea as it was taught. It's not my opinion. Okay, if we in our defective state, okay, without removing this, this blemish, right? In this blemish state, if we eat from the tree of life, that means that the blemish is also eternal. Yeah. We're giving eternal life to the blemish. We can't let the blemish piggyback on top of us to find its way into it, because evil needs to disappear forever. Okay? So that's like these basic ideas as to why, the world is the way that it is right now, why we haven't been, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So the tree of life is the knowledge, the information, and the level of consciousness that we need in order to live eternally. Mm-hmm. The information is there. Not only the information is there, but we're going to discover the tree of knowledge. The tree of life consciousness is the awareness that the universe was actually created to function as something that doesn't die. Yeah. Meaning like God didn't create the universe with entropy. Like, right, physicists are rolling their eyes right now, right? But if you any physicists listening to us right now, like, well, just here's a thought experiment for you. Mm-hmm. Imagine what would the universe be like without entropy. Yeah. Right? I'm sure that's going to drive them crazy. Yes. But the point is that, like, the world right now, entropy is, we have a Jewish word, a Hebrew word for it, Torah concept called the zuhama, right? Yeah. Basically the snake poison, the pollution, okay? So imagine this, Greg, right? Imagine that all of our...
I'll tell you this.
What is it?
I'll tell you this.
Give
him a cookie and go away.
Yeah. Right. So what the people die and things in general deteriorate. Like, let's not talk about people. Let's talk about a strawberry.
You sound like Jackie. I don't want to talk about people.
I don't want to talk about people. I want to talk about a strawberry. Okay? Imagine a strawberry. It's a nice, delicious fruit. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, it begins. What a shame.
In fact, it's anti-Semitic for you to even suggest. Fill in the blank.
Yeah. So the strawberry, okay? So the strawberry is never supposed to decay. Why does the strawberry decay? Because, okay, let's just say that the strawberry is made up of, like, magnetic particles. Or, yeah, just hypothetically. Yeah. Like, just, like, try to, just have a good time, try to imagine something silly. Yeah. Okay? The strawberry is made of pieces which are magnetically attached to each other. Okay? Mm-hmm. And they will never willingly separate from each other. They're magnetically attracted to each other. Yeah. That's why the strawberry keeps the shape. Yeah. So what happens? Why does the strawberry begin to deteriorate? Okay, now forget about what you learned in biology. Okay, just for a second. Yeah. The underlying reality of that is that there are these wedges that are stuck between the particles, separating them. Yeah. Okay? It's an active process where some foreign stuff is sticking its ass in between where it doesn't belong. Mm-hmm. and separating and causing deterioration, right?
Yeah.
So, but here's the thing. Here's an amazing thing. Mm-hmm. Once those wedges disappear, right? What happens? Those particles that are attracted to each other, they don't have anything interfering with them coming back together again.
Yeah.
You see, like, I mean, I'm painting a little metaphor here, but that's the hiyat hamet.
Yep.
And it's not just for people; it's for the universe itself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so you remove the artificially placed wedges, and everything snaps back to its default setting.
Yeah.
So So what are those wedges? The wedges are, evil.
Yeah.
Right. What's evil? Definitively is whatever God doesn't like.
Yeah.
Okay, so refraining from that will remove the wedges.
Yeah. Interesting.
So that's that's the name of the game. But the thing is, it's more complex than that, much more complex, because the wedges are essentially the wedges that needed to be removed are removed already.
Yeah.
So which leaves me,
infuriated,
guessing, tormenting myself, infuriated, going crazy trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
So here's what I came up with. God is shy.
Yeah. Interesting.
No, because you know what? You know why? You know why? Like, what is, again, just back touching the tree of life again. So Chassidut is a tree of life.
Yeah.
Kabbalah and Chassidut is a tree of life.
Yeah.
Okay, it's the intimate information about God.
Yeah.
What makes Kabbalah secret?
What makes it secret?
Yeah, I was surprised. Like, like for instance, like when you, before I learned anything Kabbalistic, right? Yeah. You keep hearing stuff like, oh, it's a secret teaching.
Well, I think it's secret in the sense that it's not that it's secrets per se. It's the fact that it's whatever. If you actually are a person who starts, if you start learning, getting so deep into it, it contains within it tools to be able to essentially change the fabric of the world, or move realms, and that actually should be kept a secret, because could be dangerous.
Right. So the actual the
that's
wizarding mechanics of the universe is there's only I don't know 7 guys who are involved in that anyway.
So
that's not really what
no, you're right. But what I'm saying is, it's 7 guys because everybody else who tried screwed it up and did horrible things.
No, by the way, that number 7 I just came up with it's not really 7 guys. If anything, it's
I know there's more, but
36.
But I'm just saying
but right. So no, because that kind of stuff is more there's a handful of human beings that are kind of that interact with the angels that run the universe. I'm not talking about the ministering angels of the nation. I'm talking about the angels that are involved with making the universe exist.
Correct.
The maintenance guys. Okay, there's people that know how to that are part of that system, but most people aren't. Okay, that's not. So I wasn't talking about that. So that obviously information how to make spiritual A bombs and all that kind of stuff. That's not what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But the rest of it is considered secret. Like for instance, Tanya. Yeah. The book Tanya. Yeah. Why did that need to be secret? That was considered right now everybody is using it, but back in those days it wasn't for everyone.
Well, back in those days it wasn't for everyone because the fear was that it's if you try you're trying to teach laymen that before they know the whole Gemara, it could be not so good. That was the fear,
Yeah, no, that's because Gemara is supposed to ground you, right? And then the other stuff is it sends you up into the heavens, right?
Yeah.
So, in order to come back from the heavens, you needed something that, to help you, to help ground you. That's kind of the basic idea. But that's not. So, but, by the way, I just wanted to correct something that I said. So the information in Tanya, before it was put into the Tanya, it was all secretive stuff.
Yeah.
But then when it was put into the Tanya, that was intended for it to be publicized widely and learned by everyone, right?
Yeah.
But there was a time when the information that he's sharing in the Tanya was secret.
Yeah.
Why? Because here's, I heard this from Manus Friedman. Right?
Yeah.
It's because it is intimate information about God. It's not about power. It's not about shooting lightning bolts out of your fingers, or learning how to make levitate or on any of this like stuff.
Yeah.
It's because it explains to you that God likes to play miniature golf on Thursdays.
Yeah.
That's private information about God.
Yeah.
Understand?
Yeah.
Like the idea is imagine having a relationship with the creator and sustainer of existence.
Yeah.
Right? And then knowing stuff about private stuff, his most intimate details. Like, I'm going to give a really raw metaphor right now, and some people are going to be like upset, and my intention is not to shock you or upset you, but but if you give it some thought, you'll see this is actually accurate. Okay?
Yeah.
So what would be the most intimate, secretive knowledge about most human beings? There's sex stuff.
Yeah.
Okay? Everybody's weird sex stuff. Okay? Everything that you're really embarrassed about, that you'll hide, that you'll literally you'll go you'll hide it to the end, you'll whatever.
Yeah.
You'll never reveal it ever.
Yeah.
Right? It's something that you would only want to share with whoever it is you're going to want to share it with.
Yeah.
Okay? And you got to really trust them. Right? Like, let's create some kind of cartoonish example where I'm sure everybody's going to love, oh, that's what you like to do. Okay? So, listen, I'm not a furry.
You're not a what?
You ever heard of these furries? People who dress up in like furry costumes.
Oh.
You know what I'm talking about? Like people, like they did a South Park episode. Like the people who dress up like mascots.
Yeah,
like Fozzie.
Yeah.
And like Elmo.
Yes.
Those kind of those like ridiculous kind of like Halloween costumes, like they wear like a little cow. Right? And then so they have to wear that in order to have sex. This is an entire community, apparently.
It's weird. It's just weird.
No. So I don't want to get into that example. I'm just using that as an example of like, you're not going to want the guys at work to know about that.
Yeah.
Right? But you have this weird compulsion to do it. So, but at the same time, for various reasons, you don't want people to know about that, except for the people that that are part of your furry club.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And, then you got the guys who like, why do I have to say guys? Maybe there's some girls involved too. There's girl furries, right? And there's the people who like to bite elbows. There's a biting elbow community. There, we don't get it, right? It's weird.
Yeah.
I don't see what it is. You ever heard of a foot fetish? What the hell is that?
Yeah.
Right? Most people know about that. That became famous as a fetish, right?
Yeah.
So what? I'm not judging anyone, okay? I personally don't get it, and then but again, another one of those things where you're not going to want to share that because people are going to judge you and think you're a weirdo. Yeah. Everybody has that. Everybody.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the most intimate information that there could be about a person. So the stuff that is in the Tanya and Hasidut and Kabbalah in general, right? That's God's intimate information. Yes, on that level.
Yeah.
The mitzvot, the commandments that we are given on Shavuot, right, which is coming up.
Yeah.
That's God sharing all of His intimate stuff with us. Yes, on that level. Even though we don't get it, how is, putting on tefillin, Why is that intimate to God? Okay, so fine.
Yeah.
So we don't understand it.
Yeah.
Right? But imagine somebody, imagine like somebody who doesn't understand why elbow biting is so intimate and sexual to a person who likes elbow biting. Like, we don't get it, right? It doesn't make sense. So in that sense, it's similar, right?
Yeah.
So Kabbalah gives you that information. There's levels of depth to it. It doesn't give it to you all at once, right? Why is wearing tzitzit? Why is keeping Shabbat? Why is learning Torah? Why is doing all the mitzvot? Why is lighting Shabbat candles for a lady, or any of the mitzvot at all? Any of the mitzvot that he mentions. Why is that so intimate? Those are God's most intimate secrets. Like, we don't get why, because it's a little strange. Not strange, but we don't see. That's not our intimacy. Our intimacy isn't like that, right? Mm-hmm. So that's what the mitzvot are. The mitzvot are like, just to use a very vulgar, it's like, imagine like, you have like a boss lady, right?
Yeah.
And, you keep, the boss lady, let her be the boss, okay? Like, she wears like pantsuits, and she like, and then like all of a sudden, like, like you find out that, I don't know, she has like blue underwear or something like that, so it doesn't matter the color. It's just like, it's intimate. That's not like, that's too much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I got to work on this metaphor a little bit, but do you understand?
I get it, yeah.
It's like that. Yeah. And why blue? Who cares? We don't know why she likes blue. We don't get it.
Yeah.
I mean, blue is fine as a color generally, but why is blue that? Whatever, you understand what I'm saying? We don't understand why the commandments that we were given are such intimate things, but we just have to know that God is like essentially sharing his most intimate secrets with human beings, with the world, right? It's available to all people for the time being, right? The 7 laws of Noah for all the nations of the world, and the 630 commandments for the Jews or anyone from the nations who wants to step forward and take it, right?
Yep.
Okay, so that's why Kabbalah is secret. Yeah. Because it tells you God's underwear is blue. And that he likes to play miniature golf on Tuesdays. Oh, Thursdays.
It's every time I hear you mention God and like anything physical, I think of the Family Guy when they showed him, it's an old man with a beard in the cloud, and he's like, "Do you have any idea how complex your circulatory system is?" Just like yells that out. So, it's amazing though. It created this whole system. Medically speaking, physically, physiologically, how he created us,
Okay, so I mean, listen. If it was just like a piece of art that I wasn't bound by, and just could kind of like enjoy for its like complexity and beauty, I'd be right there with you.
Yeah.
Okay, but since I'm bound to it and I suffer because of it, and everything else does too, kind of hard to be wowed by it.
Yeah.
I'd like to be wowed by it. I mean, I think that's the point. That's definitely part of what Olam Haba is about, the world to come, where since we're not, tormented by it, we can, in a sense, we can be freed from the torment of it, so we could actually, look at it and enjoy it for the first time.
Yeah.
Okay, that's.
Yeah.
So, can I just rant a little bit more? Can I talk about
please,
UFOs for a second?
Yeah.
Be a weirdo, right? Dude, between you and me, the guy who's really Herschel from the the Meshuggah who was talking about, that's me.
Yeah.
Compare, relatively speaking, between the both
but
of us.
you're on the inside. Like how should I put this? It isn't you, because the people who you are around 99% of them believe you because they know that you've seen certain things.
Dude, not one of my friends believes me.
Really?
Yeah. I barely speak to any of them. Like, I'll speak to Stuyvesant.
Why don't you?
Like, I haven't spoken to the other ones for years because they're all fucking liberals.
No, but I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about the stuff from today, from these days. Like.
What do you mean?
No, I'm talking about the Shmovit stuff. I'm talking about all the, if you
the Shmovit, I know.
You come up to people and you tell them about the Shmab and all that stuff.
You would think that, like, let's say, like, the people who are like, who know me, right? Who have easy access to me. Granted, a few of them have reached out, and and I help them, and right.
Yeah.
But that's with like the protocol. But you see, like like some of your friends that shall remain unnameless, right?
Yeah.
I had to speak to him for how long? How many times? 5 hours?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Seven different times just to get him to not kill himself. Yeah. He's one of those dodos from the Galapagos Islands. But, it's hard. I have to spend my like mad energy to keep him alive.
Yeah.
Right? And that's a supporter.
Yeah.
Okay? So that's whatever. I don't want to get into that.
Yeah.
What I wanted to say was that there are the Sitra Achra is keeping this out of the mainstream news. This should be literally daily news. What I'm about to say should be literally daily news. The only thing that people are that concerned about at this point.
Yeah.
Okay? So you have I'm not going to say unidentified. You have stuff that is harassing, literally, like what's a better word than harassing? Besieging.
Yeah.
Our naval destroyers and our aircraft carriers, right, and also bases daily now.
Yeah.
Daily.
Yeah.
Every day.
Yeah.
Like, that's what should actually be in the news if we had the slightest shred of access to truth.
Yeah.
Okay? So and like, the information is there. I mean, obviously since I know about it, right? It's breaking through, right? But you got to dig and dig and dig and dig.
Yeah.
And that's even when you know how, where to look and who to talk to, right?
Yep.
It's not hard. I mean, if you have the internet, you can figure it out. But it's, it's in the news now, like occasionally, but not the part of it being a daily occurrence with our armed forces every day. Could we just let that sink in for a moment?
Yeah.
Every single day for at least since 2014.
It's crazy.
Okay? So basically, there's anomalous aircraft that don't obey the laws of physics, okay? Which means that they fly at like hundreds of Gs, right? Which no aircraft can withstand. So the average, let's say our strongest aircraft, right? The war stuff, the stuff that's really made to take a beating, it can withstand 17 Gs.
Yeah.
The stuff that's zipping around all the time harassing our warships, they're going hundreds of Gs. Hundreds.
It's insane.
Yeah, they have no flight surfaces.
Mm-hmm.
This is for the folks at home, maybe for for somebody who's tuning in for the first time. Okay, no flight surfaces. They are observed by many, from many different sensors, from satellites, from ground-based sensors, from ship sensors. People see them with their eyes. There's photographic evidence of it. There's, high-level witness testimony. All of this stuff is happening every single day.
Can I ask you something?
Wait. Before you ask, I just wanted to say there's a website called The Debrief, because I keep talking about, the stuff I'm seeing. One of the sources that is a legitimate source that you can see it, that's reliable, relatively speaking, it's a website called The Debrief. Okay, for anybody, that would be a good place to kind of begin. All right, what do you want to say?
I wanted to ask you, what if these entities are just humans that are from many, many, many years in the future who already have the tech. I always wonder about that. I always wonder if it's just literally us from the future who figured out how to do time travel and all this kind of stuff, dimension travel.
Okay, so that's actually, believe it or not, okay, if that's the case, that wouldn't actually be too far, or that wouldn't be a contradiction at all between what I think it is.
Okay.
Because understand how the nature of time. Think about it for a second, okay? The way time was experienced in the garden, the quote-unquote garden, right, was nothing like what we experience time now. Nothing. Before, there's no possible way to imagine what it would be like to experience this. But okay, you know what? I'm gonna do it a different way. Right now, our life is made of, like, I've seen this metaphor used by physicists on some like documentary.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine like a series of Polaroids, right? You know remember those flip books that are like, you take a series like of photographs, right? And when you flip it, it looks like a little like animation. You know what I'm talking about? It's like you make a series of drawings.
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah. It just looks like a cartoon. Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
It looks like a little character moving,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So right now, the way we experience time is that each second, or however the smallest unit of measurement, however you want to say it, okay, is like a snapshot, like a Polaroid, right? So each moment is like a separate Polaroid. So we are experiencing time through just like one moment, one Polaroid, then the next one, then the next one, then the next one, then the next one. Okay, so we're experiencing it in one direction, right? They're all lined up like one in front of the other. The way time was experienced before is that it wasn't like that. All the Polaroids were all over the place. All of them were available at the same time. Like time itself, it wasn't like, it was more of a location rather than like a kind of like a moment by moment experience. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like all the Polaroids were all like kind of like, just to use this is going to be a flawed metaphor, but imagine you're like in a dome, right? Surrounded by all these Polaroids, even though there's no way to picture it.
Yeah.
Okay. This is a higher dimensional reality.
Yeah.
This is a dimension where all moments of time are available simultaneously. You can experience all. It's like you can go to time like it's a location, right? Like I want to go to the pizza shop, right now, but in Gan Eden, I want to go to 1982, whatever, it's there.
Yeah.
Each moment of time is infinitely there. It never goes away. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like that moment when you were playing arcades at the video store, that's literally still happening. That exists. That's a place. That's not a moment that is gone. There is, according to the laws of physics, okay, it's possible to go there again. There's nothing according to the laws of physics that says that time has to be experienced only the way that we're experiencing right now. Okay? So, in a higher dimensional reality, moments of time are like locations. Okay, I have no better way of explaining this idea. You still with me?
Yeah.
I've put you to sleep. Okay.
No, you have not.
All right. So
I have a secret.
Yeah, you have a secret? Is that
Not
what you
a
said?
secret. I have a confession to make for the audience.
Oh.
I
knew it.
I had some. Some just became legal as of April 21st in New Jersey. So,
So that's essentially, effectively as good as being asleep. So thanks.
Not really, because we got into the whole discussion about all kinds of interesting things.
So, all right. So now I just have to work harder to keep you engaged. Fine,
Yes.
no problem.
Yes.
So basically, right. So that's how time is experienced in God Eden and in the higher dimensions. And essentially, that's what. So you said, what if they're time travelers from the future?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So beings that come from what we call the angelic realm. Okay, the world of Yetzirah and above that as well, right? Those realms are like what we're describing, where time is not how they're not limited in their experience of time as we are. So they are literally from the future and from the past simultaneously. Okay, so I'm not saying that they're humans from the future, right? But they are consciousnesses which are connected to us, extensions of us. Okay, because that's really what the whole universe is, anyway. Okay, that come from a dimension of reality where time is all simultaneous. So yes, you can say they are us from the future. How do you like that? Not too much, I guess.
Oh my God, dude.
Yeah, all right.
You know what it is? I'm not asleep. I'm just in. I don't know.
Well, did you space out? Did you hear anything I said?
I did, but it was just like words turned into sound.
Oh, folks, drugs are bad.
They're bad, okay. Don't be bad.
This is your brain on drugs.
Oh my
Any
goodness,
questions?
dear Lord. Okay, I'm sitting up. Fantastic. This is fantastic.
Do I have to say that? Do I have to say that whole thing again? All right, let me boil it down.
No.
These things that are daily not attacking but
Yes.
harassing,
Yes.
right, or establishing their
Yeah.
dominance over our military,
Yeah.
and probably the Chinese and
Yes.
the Russians as well.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
These things come from dimensions of reality
Mm-hmm.
where they experience time.
Yeah.
They're both
Yes.
in the future and the past and the
Yes.
present simultaneously.
Yes.
So technically speaking, I guess they are time travelers.
And therefore, well, yes, and therefore we will not have Putin, no matter how much he listens to his mentor, push the button and bomb, send an ICBM to America. Because even if he wanted to, they'd stop him.
If they want to.
Yeah.
That's not necessarily.
You're saying there's a scenario where they might allow this?
Yeah. I mean, they take orders from God. They don't do anything. They're just machinery.
Yeah.
I mean, they're living beings, but
Yeah.
they function,
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
messengers.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what's happening every day. That's the real reality. Okay, now, I mean, if it's ever going to be presented in the news, right? It's probably not going to be presented necessarily the way I'm describing it, but ultimately, that's what it's going to be revealed to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
But even the greatest minds who have studied this phenomenon for many years, I highly recommend people looking into the works of Jacques Vallée. Okay?
Yeah.
Just that guy alone is, he probably has the closest understanding of what's going on. And he said it on Joe Rogan. He basically said, he goes, so Joe Rogan's like, so what are they? Who are they? So he said it like this after like 50 years of studying this. He goes, they are some separate intelligences that are trying to affect us. That's all. That's what it boils down to.
Yeah.
Right?
It's crazy.
And the way he said it, the wording that he used, and I'm sure he's not conscious of it, but that's the way the Rambam describes, not just the Rambam, but, the seichel nivdalot, right? Nivdalim, nivdalot.
Yeah.
That's the Hebrew term, separate intelligences, meaning it's not us.
Yeah.
Okay, so these angelic entities that are described in the Torah, right? When you really get into the nitty-gritty of this topic, right?
Yeah.
They are described in the same way as what you see right now, actually daily affecting our armed forces.
It's just so crazy that
So
it's, that
why
it's
am I
daily.
saying this?
Yeah.
Because I'm looking for Mashiach.
Yeah.
Okay, and the Alter Rebbe said, he goes, Mashiach is going to be in the news.
Yeah.
You're going to see Mashiach in the headlines.
Yeah.
Okay, the supernatural / natural stuff. We keep going back and forth on this, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's going to come by natural means, and there's going to be supernatural. So basically, what that means is it's going to be aspects of nature that we haven't discovered yet that look supernatural to us because it's outside of our realm of experience.
Yeah.
These things, they don't seem to follow
Yeah.
our understanding of physics, right? They blow us out of the water with their ability to function in our world. They phase in and out. They don't even move fast. They seem to just teleport from one place to the other. And if you think I'm nuts, folks, it's in the news. Just pay attention. Okay, so I'm excited. You know what I mean? Like that's what it looks like.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Okay? And I'm mad that it's being stifled. I really think, I really, really believe that if this information was finally treated the way it should be, it should be blasted on the news all day.
Yeah.
That that will affect the minds of people. People will be like, what is that?
Yeah.
What does it mean?
Yeah.
Why is that happening? What does that say about me? I want to know about that. That will change the whole world. That will create a situation where God will reveal himself in stages, but at least it'll begin. At least it'll start coming into the open. You understand? And then we can finally really partake of the tree of life. That's why I keep talking about this topic. It's not just it's not like a little hobby. It's and by the way, I didn't choose for it to manifest this way. I'm just reporting what I'm being shown, what we're all being shown, right? Right. Greg.
Yes.
Just say no.
My goodness.
Just say no, Greg. All right.
It is also almost midnight, and you and I have been burning the midnight oil lately in terms of just life. You mentioned this to me, and I agree. And I don't know. This episode is already 2 hours long.
It's all right. You can piece this together with the one that we did last night that you didn't put up.
Yes, I could do that actually. Yeah, because that one was already an hour and a half.
Yeah. So then we can have our standard, nice, short 4 hour.
Yes, episode 1 of Truth Fanatics.
How about you could put like this, episode 77, part 3 or part 2 / episode 1 of Truth Fanatics.
It's just already long. It's going to be long.
I know it's ridiculous. It has a comic aspect to it.
Yeah.
It's functional.
Yeah.
People will get it initially.
I'll play around with it. We'll see.
I'll tell you this.
Give me a cookie and go away.
I'm gonna give you took. I'll tell you this. You ate a cookie and you went away.
Oh yeah.
All right, so we'll leave it at that.
It wasn't a cookie. It was just a regular old cockroaches.
A what? What?
No, yeah.
Oh, you just spoke weed. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you for enunciating that.
right. All right, Truth Fanatics, ho.
Snurf.
I'm gonna be doing this by myself.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
You're not Snarf, man. You're definitely you're at least you're no Chitara, but you're at least Panthro.
The hell?
Okay.
Chitara.
You're no Chitara, but you are Panthro. Okay, at least.
My God. Huh. Listen,
all right, man.
I just have to figure out how to channel the guy in 2009, and I'll be fine.
2000. Listen.
2009.
You can channel it. He's still there. We talked about it. How that each moment in time and space still exists. So that's why you can channel him, because he's actually still there somewhere, waiting to be channeled.
Yes.
All right, man. Go channel him.
All right, sir. Laila Tov, and we're gonna piece this together.
Truth Fanatics, episode 1.
Snarf.
Oh.
All right.
All right.
Later.
Take care.